It's your boy Big Ghost Rider. Y'all already know what time it is. You know what I'm saying? If you in the channel right now, as we get started, I ask that you'll double tap the screen for me, that you'll like the video. As you guys come in, I hope you guys subscribe to the channel. If you enjoy the content, definitely, I would appreciate it. Trying to get to them 10,000 subs, man. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you guys hit that notification bell too. So every time we come in a live stream, you know what I'm saying, you guys could go live with us. Today, man, we're going to be talking about ICE, you know? We talked about ICE a couple times. You know, that's the conversation that everyone seems to want to talk about. Everyone wants to talk about ICE. And I'm saying the turn of events that we've seen over the past, I don't know, how many days, y'all? How many weeks? Minneapolis, across the country. Like, I mean, there, to me, that is like an appropriate conversation. Is that Montana? Yep, I already know it. Good morning, Montana. Please double tap the screen if you're on a cell phone. Like the video, I would appreciate it. But yeah, man, like, we keep on talking about ICE, man, because I think it's a conversation that needs to be had. In my opinion, it's not a conversation, excuse me, that's beneficial to the Republicans. And that's very important, you know, because this isn't an election year, and the balance of the power of Congress, the House of Representatives and the Senate is at stake. So for Republicans, it's something that they won't want to talk about. Look, I'm going to say this. I'm going to start off with a couple of thoughts, allow some people to jump in the stream before I get into the content. If I could share a couple of thoughts. One thing that I keep hearing for Republicans after all of this, y'all, think about it. Renee Good, 3 shots, 3, not 1, 2, 3 shots to her head. She's not armed. Okay? And Alex Peretti, you can't forget him, the most recent killing. That's 9 or 10 shots. Okay? He was armed, but he was disarmed when he was shot. This is my point. Through all of this, I'm still hearing Republicans say that you cannot, or I say a Trump supporter or someone who believes that the killing of Renee Good in any way was justified. That is not a justified killing. She shouldn't have ran the car at the agent. She shouldn't have drove the car towards the agent. That's facts. We've established that. But we also established that the agent put his hand on the car and he avoided the vehicle. You see what I'm saying? We've established that too. So the agent didn't have to shoot her and he could have lived. That to me, that is ultra important. That is ultra important for us to move on to the next stage, because if not for President Trump, this monster will keep rearing its head in a different form, in a different fashion, somewhere in his administration, somewhere in the lives of Americans. It might not be Minneapolis next time. It might be your community. That's important. The agent in the killing of Renee Good could have survived if he wouldn't have shot her. So in no way can I say or believe or think that that killing was justified. Guys, I'm going to use that as the introduction. We're going to go ahead and get started this morning. You know what I'm saying? Guys, I'm going to start off talking about the incompetence at ICE. I mean, if we're talking about the killing of Renee Good, if we're talking about the killing of Alex Peretti, I mean, it's obvious that we can all see there's incompetence there. But I'm going to give you guys a story from The Guardian that was wrote on January the 27th. Okay? A Minnesota's top federal judge has summoned the acting head of the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, that's ICE, to appear before him on Friday, warning he might be held in contempt for allegedly defying court orders. I'm saying you got a killing of Renee Good. You got a killing of Alex Peretti. You got utter chaos on the streets of Minneapolis. The Republicans are blaming the Democrats. The Democrats are blaming the Republicans. We've heard this story before. Regardless, we're talking about what is. We're not talking about how you feel politically. We're talking straight facts. That's chaos. That's not an opinion, that's chaos. That's facts. On top of all of this, behind the scene, something that's not getting a lot of hoopla, you got the top federal judge, the court, in the state of Minnesota threatening to hold the acting director of ICE in contempt for defying court orders. Bro, that is complete incompetence. Complete incompetence. Chief U.S. District Judge Patrick Schultz demands ICE lead Todd Lyons explain himself personally in a 3-page order issued Monday evening, declaring that the court's patience is at an end. Even the court say they are tired of ICE. The court, this the top judge. Do you understand that ICE is a government agent? It's like a police. You understand that, right? So you got to understand the hierarchy of the court. The judge, the court, he's supreme in this situation. And he's saying that ICE has been defiant to court orders, and he's about to hold them in contempt of court. As you guys come in, y'all please double tap the screen for me if you haven't. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, guys. This is the time to let your voice be heard. Republicans, independents, and Democrats. What I'm saying is, besides the killings, how can you say that, Ghost? Besides the killings, yes, besides the killings that we've seen, all that craziness that we've seen, besides that, you have the top federal judge in Minnesota threatening to hold ICE in contempt of court for defying court orders, saying, I quote, the court's patience is at an end. The rebuke follows weeks of tilting anger during the so-called Operation Metro Surge, the Trump administration's large-scale, aggressive, and now deadly immigration enforcement campaign in Minneapolis, St. Paul. The operation has generated numerous emergency lawsuits from immigrants claiming unlawful arrest or detention, with judges consistently ruling in their favor. We heard about the 5-year-old. What y'all got to say about the 5-year-old? Come on now. Talk to me, Republicans. Let me know. Because you talking about that killing of Renee Good was in any kind of way justified. That was a killing. It wasn't no different than Alex Peretti. That agent could have put his hand on the car and survived. And the girl could have got arrested and the judge would have let her straight out of jail. That's buffoonery. We talking utter incompetence, and people need to stand accountable. The judge said the government's non-compliance had caused significant hardship to immigrants, many of whom had lived and worked legally in the United States for years. He described detained individuals being sent to Texas. They should remain in Minnesota or being released far from home without no means to return. Other Minnesota federal judges have voiced similar concerns. I could bet you one thing for certain and two things for sure. Ghosts are legal, dude. Let me tell you how it's going over. We don't care if you know Republican, Democrat, and we care about that law. We care about justice and injustice. And in the court, all the judges together, they standing together. You better believe that's a brotherhood. They standing together, and together they're accusing the administration of attempting to defy court orders, denying non-citizens their due process rights. You want to deny Americans their due process rights? There's consequences to pay for your actions. You got to pay consequences. They don't want you denying non-citizens. You talking about denying American citizens. I'm talking about, bro, when we going to cut out the riot? When we going to cut out the chaos, man? I'm trying to talk about something else. Today, we supposed to be talking about that stock market. We talking about it tomorrow, creation of new millionaires, but we cannot move on because all of this nonsense, buffoonery, bravado, craziness, and it continues. Several judges are now considering broader legal challenges that could significantly restrict federal immigration enforcement in Minnesota or halt it entirely. They're about to shut you down. What Ghostwriter been saying, man? You about to get shut down in Minnesota. Overplaying your hand. This ain't the same talking points. This is breaking news. You got the federal court system in Minnesota. They sick of you too. How you gonna win? Where you winning at? If we look at any polls, you can look at a Gallup poll, you can look at a Republican poll, overwhelmingly. The people said they tired of ICE, even to the point where they agreeing with AOC and they say they'll abolish ICE completely. People not trusting the police. They're not believing the police. They appalled by what they seeing, man, on TV and on social media. That's the people. That's the voters. And then on top of that, you go to the courts, and the courts saying that you a clown show trying to do your own thing. You're not listening to nobody. If you're not going to listen to the judge, bro, who you going to listen to? Y'all tell me. Y'all let me know. You can't be trying to listen to Ghostwriter if you ain't listening to the judge. I'm saying I hope you're not listening to Stephen Miller, because Stephen Miller should be able to tell you himself he don't outrank the judge, bruh. We talking about the judge in the court. They not listening to the judge. And now the court's considering shutting the whole thing down completely. Bruh, if that court shut that program down in Minnesota, now I'm telling you that's even bigger than what you got right now. Let me tell you what you got right now. What you got right now is around campaign time. If I was running any campaign in the Midwest, because you know, Minnesota, it borders Wisconsin, which is a purple state, a presidential election decided, and Minnesota. Michigan, which is also a purple state. So look, if I was running any race with any congressperson in November this year in Michigan or in Wisconsin or Minnesota, well, I'm going to tell you what you've given me as Republicans. Number one, you've given me a video of a female, a mother. I'm going to be saying all of this in this campaign video, who was unarmed and made a simple error, and it cost her life with 3 bullets to her head from an ICE agent. You want to vote for that? On the same video, I'm going to get Alex Peretti. Now you looking real stupid. I'm talking about he helped veterans. Was he a veteran, y'all? Somebody put it down there in the chat. I know he was a nurse who helped veterans and saved animals. And we can clearly see that the agent came looking for the gun. The agent with the suit on came looking for the gun. He first looked at his ankle. He looked in his waistband, found it, ran away. Somebody hollered, gun, gun, gun. He's not armed now. In the back. Oh yeah, that's on the video too. And so also, what Ghost gonna put on his video is now the court, the federal judges are thinking about holding y'all in contempt of court. You know that judge could order cuffs put on one of y'all. You know that, right? Right there in court. You ain't leaving that court. Them U.S. Marshals in that federal courthouse, they gonna put them cuffs on you right there in that court. Good morning, Donnie. What's up, my brother? You guys make sure y'all like the video if you guys have not already. Donnie, I'm telling the people about how a federal judge, the top federal judge in the state of Minnesota, said he is thinking about holding ICE, the leader, in contempt of court for defying court orders, and they are thinking about shutting down Operation whatever you want to call that trash down completely in Minnesota. That's what the court doing. Don't take my word for it. Hold up. Let's get back there real quick. This is according to The Guardian on the 27th. Yes, indeed. Y'all can look it up yourself. Shut it down. It's not just one judge. It's more than one judge. Incompetence at ICE. That's what we talking about this morning, y'all. Incompetence at ICE. I mean, that's not just Renee. Listen, you can get this kind of incompetence, okay? You could get this kind of incompetence if you didn't have the people seeing Renee Good getting killed like that. You could get this kind of incompetence if you didn't have the people seeing Ellis Peretti getting assassinated like that. But when it lets me know that the court system, the judges in Minnesota, Republicans and Democrats, it don't matter who appointed. I'm sure it might be a Trump appointed judge over there too, or a Bush appointed judge. The judges together collectively said they are sick of dealing with ICE too. They're not abiding by court orders. And he said thinking about holding you in contempt of court. Now y'all explain that for him. That's the reason why we're doing the story today. That's why we're talking about it today. And we keep talking about it. And we talked about Iran yesterday, and we see what President Trump wrote on Truth Social to Iran. So we got other issues to talk about, but we got to come back here to ICE because it's news. The judge saying, listen, guys, on top of that, y'all heard about the United Kingdom? Starmer? He got a meeting with Xi. He went over there and met with Xi. Now the United Kingdom, they going to tear up the deal that they made, President Trump, with America, and now he over there with Xi. United Kingdom and Canada over there shaking hands with the Chinese. I know y'all heard Ghost talking about that too with that Greenland situation. It's consequences for your words, for your actions, for your bravado. I'm saying, what's the point of trying to look tough? Because I think that's the major point or the major problem. Y'all, listen, that's how I honed in on Gomer Powell, Greg Bovino. I didn't even know the boy name. I call him Gomer Powell. Yeah. Y'all know Gomer Powell? Like, listen, I'm going to tell y'all this for the new people in here watching this. Donnie, y'all forgive me. I'm going to be quick with it. So, man, I'm sitting there watching social media. I consume a lot of social media, you know what I'm saying? And, you know what I'm saying? I see it's not like a little commercial because they telling the story. But I know what this was. They were playing the theme music and everything in the back. I'm dead serious, y'all. I know it sounds funny, but I'm serious. And they said, and on the scene now for the Border Patrol is they had like a drum roll. I'm dead serious. And they like, oh, it's the one that everyone fears, and the screen went black and the door shot open, and here come Gomer Powell hop out. Here come Greg Bovino. He got the Nazi coat on, and he walking down the line in formation like he's some kind of tough guy. Nah, he ain't. I added that part for a thing, y'all. Excuse me. You see what I'm saying? But I'm saying, bro, I'm thinking that this is a federal agent who's in charge of a federal administration, ICE, Border and Customs. First of all, we wondering what in the world are y'all doing going at American citizens? Look, if it was the FBI, I wouldn't be really saying American citizens. They wonder why Ghost saying American citizens. He emphasizing don't kill American citizens. If it was the FBI, I wouldn't be saying American citizens, but because it's ICE, they supposed to be tracking illegal aliens. If you're not going after the illegal criminals, at least illegal aliens, ain't none of these people that y'all killing are illegals. That makes sense. You so wrong in 1,000 ways. I can't even stay on the right topic. You so wrong because I could keep on chasing different rabbits on your wrongness trail, the trail of wrongness. Yeah. So Greg Bovino, he more concerned about being on TikTok and being a TikTok star than he is doing a good job. I'm saying if your numbers matched, yeah. Y'all, come on, man. Look at the man, his haircut and everything. Something wrong with the dude head, man. He out there, he's spinning. He trying to be a celebrity. Gomer Powell. He trying to be a celebrity. And in the meantime, a young lady got 3 bullets in her head by an agent who could have easily avoided that car. Y'all keep saying, I keep hearing MAGAs and Republicans and Proud Boys or whatever y'all are saying that you can't run an officer over with a car. You don't have definitive proof, because from when I'm looking at that tape, it don't look like to me, and the majority of Americans, open your ears. Because if you don't fix it now, it's going to pop back up down the road somewhere. Open your ears. You got to tone it down, bring that down, retrain them, rehire them. Get you that. Well, that's what's going to bring us to our second point. So our second point, if you guys don't know, Hakeem Jefferies, I'm up here in big NYC, been holding it down for New York City for a little baby minute. You know what I'm saying? It's New York City goated with the Democratic leaders. Y'all know AOC, she the queen of the party. You know what I'm saying? She represents Bronx. My boy Hakeem Jefferies, he's the leader, the next speaker of the House, Lou Hakeem. He represents Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? So this story is CNN. It's breaking news again. That's why I had to come on here and do this. ICE, still talking about ICE. Top Democrats in Congress are plunging into an impeachment fight with Kristi Noem. Oh my goodness. Where you at, Donnie? Where you at, Bailey? Where y'all at? I know y'all remember Ghostwriter just talking about this, right? You ain't got to take my advice. You ain't got to listen to me. They going to get you out the way. Even some moderate Republicans say they've lost faith in the embattled Department of Homeland Security chief, up in the pressure on the administration of what they seen as a complete failure in Minnesota. Oh my goodness, baby Kristi. Oh my goodness, they coming for your dome top. In a joint statement, the top three House Democrats announced they would soon support a vote to impeach Noem, which they can trigger without any GOP support. It's not only they making the threat, they could do it without no help from no Republicans. Being in the minority, they still could pull it off. You understand this? Unless Trump immediately moved to fire her following the fatal shooting of a 37-year-old Ellis Peretti. All you got to do if you Kristi Noem is keep your eyes peeled. Because if you get some Republicans defecting Secretary Noem, I'm going to miss you, baby. You ain't got to take ghost advice. I'm not coming on here to give you advice like I'm some kind of guru or oracle. I'm coming up here as a political strategist telling you that Hurricane Katrina is on its way. And I told you that 2 weeks ago, Hurricane Katrina was on its way. What y'all did? And shot somebody else. Well, Hurricane Katrina is here now. Here's Hurricane Katrina. This is the last time I'm trying to talk about ICE for a minute. But while I do today, we going to get to it. Hurricane Katrina is here. Two moderate Republicans, Senator Lisa Murkowski, an outspoken centrist of Alaska, and retiring Senator Tom Tillis of NC, big North Carolina, told Republicans they wanted Noem out. Uh-oh, you lost two Republicans already before the vote is started. And the extraordinary step for House Democratic leaders, Minority Leader Hakeem Jefferies and his team issued a blunt statement threatening impeachment after weeks of trying to steer their members away from such talk, which saw largely a distraction given the GOP's fierce loyalty to the president. Taxpayer dollars are being weaponized by the Trump administration to kill American citizens, brutalize communities, and violently target law-abiding immigrant families. The country is disgusted by what the Department of Homeland Security has done. They charged in a scathing statement that painted the pair of recent deaths in Minnesota as an immoral killing spree. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Hakeem Jefferies and them Secretary Noem, they coming for your dome top, your dome piece. They want you out of there. They say you gotta go. Too incompetent. This is what I'm saying. I'm saying that the court might not be able to remove you, Secretary Noem, but let me tell you something. One thing for certain and two things for certain. if that judge orders ICE out of Minneapolis, and I'm not talking about like their ordinary numbers. You know, I guess ICE would keep a contingency of agents at certain places across America strategically, yada, yada, every administration did it. I'm not talking about those agents. I'm talking about that buildup. I'm talking about what we've been seeing on the internet and on TV. If the judge orders those numbers of ICE agents down, that is 1 million losses for the Trump administration. 1 billion. They want you gone, Secretary Noem. Listen, on top of this is what I want you to say. Is I'm going to get to the third point, too, as I put this together. On top of this is what I want to tell you guys. The Republicans, they won this argument. They did y'all tell me down in the chat, did not the Republicans... Listen, forget 2025. Let me go back. Forget 2026. Forget 2025. Let's go back to summertime in 2024, when Donald J. Trump was running for president, and he was telling the American people, I could play the speeches for y'all, I don't think it's necessary. So I think most of us heard him, that Joe Biden was the worst president in U.S. history. I could almost quote him verbatim, and how he let over 25 million illegal aliens into America's, most of them criminals, drug dealers, the worst of the worst, criminally insane from Venezuelan prisons, rapists, child molesters, pedophiles, criminals, 300,000 children. Y'all remember this? And I'm saying it don't matter how you feel about immigration as a Democrat this morning. I'm talking about them independents, 45% of Americans. Independents who decide in every election, that quiet majority. Big Ghost is a voice for them. As far as we're concerned, I think if I'm not mistaken, the number was like 70% of us stood with President Trump and his policy to close the border and to stop all of those people from coming into America illegally. We stood with President Trump on that policy. So I want to take y'all back to November of 2024 when Donald J. Trump became number 47. And I'm saying we stood with Donald J. Trump on that policy. And I want to take y'all to March of 2025. I'm saying before the troops started going to the Democratic cities and the retribution tour really got kicked off, the majority of Americans still stood with President Trump on that policy. Think about that. And then you still, listen, even with immigration in your favor, you still go through 2025 special elections. It looked like they swung at least 12 points to the left in a Democrat's favor. But I'm saying you get into 2026 and what you have, the picture that you have painted by yourself. You could blame anybody who you want to. Because I'm saying I still hear him standing in the fact that, oh, well, you know, you can't drive a car towards a federal agent. I'm saying we don't even have to discuss that. To me, if you saying that like you pandering, oh, you know not to drive a car towards a federal agent, bro, you don't drive a car towards a homeless bum. Like, why do we have to discuss that? That's pointless, mootless conversation. What's that got to do with him shooting a girl in the face? That's what you need to understand. That's the point that President Trump and Secretary Noem and Stephen Miller and every single last one of them, besides maybe J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio and Susan Wild, there's probably some more, but those three I know for sure. Every last one of y'all else, Kristi Noem, you need to understand. No, you don't impede on federal operations. No, you don't do it. It's wrong. It's illegal. It's a crime. Let me give you that. Hold up, y'all. Y'all, let me get a sip of my water. Y'all bear with me just a second. Let me get us something to the Republicans real quick. Yeah, what she did was wrong. Yeah, it was wrong. Alex Peretti getting in the way, even when the agent wrongly shoved the woman down, let her just file her own lawsuit. Yeah, it was wrong. Alex Peretti, he probably should have just stayed back. Yeah, he probably should. It's wrong. Yeah, it's a crime. Yeah, it's wrong. You got it. You get your you get that off your chest. You still don't kill him. You still don't kill him. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, y'all, listen, you know one thing about Republicans, they're quick to say Christians. Y'all on the live stream, we hear Republicans saying, oh, Democrats, they're demons. They're not even saved. They're going to hell. One of my boys, Angelo, that's one of his favorite things. That's not just him. That's Christian nationalism. Democrats are the devil. You see what I'm saying? This is what I'm trying to tell you. I'm saying they quick to say Christian morals. What about turning the other cheek? Yeah, they don't believe in turning the other cheek. I'm saying the girl put the car in drive, she ran at you, you put your hand on the car. Maybe you shoot one time because at first, you know, it's so close, it's so bang, bang. Maybe you shoot one time because you think that maybe possibly she was going to hit you. She's going to try to run into you. But I'm saying you next to her car and you keep shooting into her car, man. Come on. Nah, man. Nah. That's the problem. You take the L. You got to know when. You got to know when to hold up. Know when to fold up. Know when to walk away. Know when to run. You got to count your blessings. The Trump and them, they never listen to no music like that. They don't understand that concept. You too, like trying to be like this. This not Russia. You can't be Putin here. But if you kill what in Iran, they kill what thousands of protesters. If you kill 1,000 protesters in America, whatever your name is as a politician, bro, you through. You finished. The left side of your face will come up missing. It's a different world. You got to understand what you're dealing with in America. So, man, I am completely beside myself with the Republicans and you guys' thought processes. You have to understand that you have to take the L. You have to walk away. Sometimes a protester just have to hit you with a water bottle. You don't go push down a woman. Sometimes you got to let people blow whistles. Sometimes you got to let people break the law to keep the peace, bro. They don't understand that mentality. So you want to prove to everybody, try to scare everybody. So you want to shoot America. And this is where you got yourself at. This is where you at right now. The federal judge threatened to hold y'all in contempt, to shut y'all down completely in Minnesota. And that's not just the chief federal judge, that's all the judges collectively. The federal court system in Minnesota, they sick of y'all. You got the people who largely, in part, are against you. Immigration has largely, in part, turned against the Republicans. Fact check me right now. Donnie, y'all fact check me right now. Look at the Gallup polls. Put it down in the chat. Ghost, if y'all know Ghost, I am the algorithm. The American people, largely in part, have turned President Trump's polls. They turned against your immigration policy now. So you lost the court. You lost the people. Who you got? Who you got what? 10% of the population in the MAGA? Because I'm saying you losing Republicans by the 1,000. I just told y'all that Senator Murkowski in Alaska, and Tom Tillis in North Carolina, they said they with the Democrats. They want Kristi Noem gone. There's too much going on. Incompetence, chaos. If you guys haven't liked the video, I ask that y'all double tap the screen, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. Democrats don't get too happy because Ghost is an independent. And I think the Republicans have lost the leverage for what I'm finna say right now. I don't know if they have the leverage to be able to do this anymore. Because if I was the Democrats, I'm saying the Democrats talking about shutting the government down on Friday. They'll win if they do it. Almost anything they say and do right now on immigration, that's how bad it's gotten for the Republicans. To the point where President Trump and them had to swallow their pride and fire Gomer Powell. You say, oh, he didn't get fired. He's still the Border Patrol chief. Yeah, he might, but he got kicked out of Minnesota. That's demoralizing, to say the least. Stephen Miller walking back comments. President Trump speaking in different. Tom Homan running the scene now. They quit Kristi Noem at. Democrats trying to impeach her. That's where she at. The court's finna shut y'all down. I'm talking about everywhere the people turn against your immigration policy. L after L after L after L. And this is what's so sad. This point number 3. What's so sad is that President Trump's argument that the cities, whether it's Minneapolis, whether it's Los Angeles, whether it's New York, you don't care if it's a sanctuary city, he's saying the cities should release criminal, illegal aliens from an American jail to ICE. I heard Stephen A. Smith talking about that. You know what I'm saying? And I thought about it, man. And that makes I agree that I believe. Why? Listen, in my mind, I believe in immigration. I believe in allowing people to come into America. You know what I'm saying? Like ICE, the way they messing up is they in the middle of Minnesota, and they trying to deport President Trump's housemaid. They trying to deport President Trump's housemaid's daughter for Ivanka. That's what they trying to do. I mean, that sounds facetious because it's not President Trump's they trying to do, but that's how President Trump would feel if you trying to get this alien that's been here for 20 years that you know on a personal level, it's a human connection. You don't want them to leave. You done taken a liking to them. They in your community. You done helped them out. Those kind of people, I don't know why you try to deport them, but hey, that's why you got the problems you got. But what I'm saying, what I'm thinking, and what's different is you talking about a criminal, someone who's been arrested for a crime, and they sitting in jail right now. Bruh, if ICE can't... This is where I'm different from y'all Democrats. If ICE came to my jail trying to get an American almost, I'd give them to Americans. Oh, you coming out, y'all? Who you coming to pick up? Oh yeah, you want to get them illegals? Oh yeah, you can get them illegals. Hey, I got a few Americans you can take with you if you want. You talking about these people in jail? I'm saying release them from jail. If violent criminals, whatever kind of criminals, in my mind, you want to release them from jail. I ain't talking about somebody got a speeding ticket. Now, come on now. We talking about somebody committed a crime. You want to release them from jail, stop ICE from taking them and put them back in your community? Nah, you need to get rid of them. Let ICE take them. But what I'm saying, you can't even advocate right now for the Democrats to do that, because if I was the Democrats, why would you do that? The Democrats got the whole ups on the Republicans right now on the immigration conversation in a trillion ways. That's one of President Trump's strong suits was immigration. And the Democrats then beat them to sleep. Beat them to sleep. All you got to do is listen to Ghost. But when Ghost was coming on saying what Ghost was saying, people was coming out publicly saying, why should I listen to that? You ain't got, yeah, what I told y'all, laugh now, cry later. That's what God said. God said, when your time coming, he gonna laugh at you. You don't have to listen to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm just telling you what the weather said. The weather said that it's the Hurricane 5 coming. And now I'm here telling you, Secretary, no, Hurricane 5 is here. President Trump's still going to be the president in 2027. President Trump will still be the president in 2028. Some of y'all Republicans in the House of Representatives, y'all not going to be Congress people no more. Some of y'all Republicans in the Senate, y'all not going to be Senate no more. And hold up, some of y'all people standing up there next to President Trump, all lifted up and high and looking pristine. I'm Secretary such and such. Why would I listen to that guy? He's in his car doing a live stream on a vertical live feed. Why would I listen to that clown? This is Secretary such and such. They ain't gotta listen to me. Tight Brew, good morning, baby. They ain't gotta listen to the big ghost, man. I don't care who you listen to. I'm gonna come on here and speak the truth. I ain't got nothing against you, Secretary. No, nothing against you, baby. Everything I said about you before all of this, I still feel the same. I got nothing but love in my heart for people. I'm not a mean person. I ain't got nothing against you. I'm not the Speaker of the House or the minority leader for the Democrats. Hakeem Jefferies is. Hakeem Jefferies said he got something against you. Jasmine Crockett says she got something against you. AOC says she got something against you. Even I'm saying you got Republicans saying they got something against you publicly. If you got them saying it publicly, you got two of them saying it publicly. I know it's at least five of them who on the fence against you, Secretary. Now, it don't look good. And so, look, look, y'all, this is what I told somebody yesterday. I said, y'all, let's go back again. Let me take y'all back again to November of 2024, right after President Trump won the election, off of his policy on immigration. Let me take you back to that point. Okay, if we could all the way to today and everything happened that happened to this point, but there's no killing of Renee Good or no killing of Ellis Peretti, I'm saying you could still, the Republicans, in my opinion, they would still have a little argument. Y'all feeling that? You understand that? They would still have, we could still say, hey, y'all, at least, some voices could step up. Independents, some Fettermen can step up and they could be like, hey, you need to at least the criminals, at least. But I'm saying we can't even do that now. I agree with the Republicans. I agree with President Trump that the Democrats should at least let them get the criminals from jail. But we can't even ride with that though, Christy. No more, because you don't have no more leverage. Your leverage is gone. President Trump, your leverage on immigration is gone. So the Democrats don't even have to do that. They don't have to do nothing to help you do nothing but sell you get out of Minneapolis. That's all they got to do. They got the court about this close from telling you. Once the court tell you, it's a wrap. He talking about holding he talking about putting what contempt of court is? Y'all getting Stephen Miller some advice. Man, Stephen Miller need to hire a ghostwriter or something, man, Ghostwriter wouldn't have you in those situations like this. You know what contempt of court is? Any of y'all heard of contempt of court? You don't need no law license or no degree as a paralegal to know what contempt of court is, do you? That means you are in contempt. You disobeying the court and the judge. They could put you in jail for that. They'll lock you up. That's how they hold their power. That's how they get you to do what they tell you to do. And they saying that y'all been defying their orders and they almost ready to put y'all out of Minnesota completely. Shut down your whole operation. It's unbelievable. So for the Republicans, guys, where do they go from here? Where do they go from here? I mean, to tell them that you need no more stupid stuff to happen to start with, I'm saying if you want to come back at all with the people on the immigration at all, to start with, you don't need no more stupid stuff. I'm saying like we hear that the FBI went and raided election offices in Georgia over the 2020 elections. That's a whole live stream I'm finna do. I'm not finna get off into the details. I could just tell you from hearing the news story that they have not learned nothing. President Trump, y'all, and this retribution tour is going to destroy you. You're destroying your own selves. Because I'm telling you, Stephen Miller, I'm saying poor Pam Bondi, they finna try to drag you. If any of them could hear me, I'm saying they gonna try to do you like they finna try to do Christy Noem. Because I'm not gonna be talking about it, but you could trust one thing for certain and two things for sure. I'm saying with this Christy Noem stuff going on, this ain't, you talking about we ain't even reached the kind of height of where this finna head to. It's finna get heated. It's finna be big. The Democrats gonna blow this out the water, and don't let them win in November. They'll be trying to indict you. I'm trying to tell you, ain't listen to Ghost when I told you. Like, that's what the scriptures say. God said he gonna mock you. When your time come, he gonna laugh at you. You laughing. And he trying to tell you something to help you out of love. Saying you don't know about the hype. I'm saying because they could pull a vote on impeaching you. They might not get the votes, but they could pull the vote on impeaching you without Republican support. And I'm saying, so if you give the public and the Republican, I think one more Alex Peretti, President Trump saved y'all by getting Gomer Powell out of there and putting Tom Homan in there. Because one more Alex Peretti, I think that the Republican, because Christy Noem, you would have been all the way through. Cook grass, gone, out of there. I think he might end up having to fire Gomer Powell, really fire him, out of there. And I'm saying, like, I'm going to repeat this one more time before, you know what I'm saying, we move on, that I think I seen comments on some of my posts, some of my Republican brethren, y'all saying that, you know, you can't drive a car into an FBI or a federal agent. Yeah, but that's not how the American people seen that. And we know it's factual evidence that that agent could have survived that if he wouldn't have fired one shot, and they could have arrested her at a different time. So those two things tell me that you are being over aggressive. You going into Georgia and trying to, bro, I'm talking about, man, listen, Susan Wiles, where you at, baby? Marco Rubio, where you at? JD Vance? I'm talking about smart people around President Trump. What I would do, I would go tap President Trump on the shoulder. I say, hey, big man, listen. Can you listen to me for a second, big man? Man, you see all the confusion and stuff we got going on in the country right now? Not only in Minneapolis and Minnesota, I'm talking about all kind of places. I'm saying in the middle of this, you're going to get the FBI to go dig up the 2020 election, because that's all you doing. You digging up a 2020 election. The FBI went and raided different election sites. I'm not going to litigate the case. We're going to do a whole live stream on this weekend. Went and raided different sites in the middle of all this confusion. The FBI went and raided different sites in relation to the 2020 election. See, look, Pam Bondi, she kind of been staying clear of the hellfire missiles coming from the left and the center. And they've been really mainly aiming at Christy Noem and Greg Bovino. Gomer Powell. Blah! I got to throw that in there, Gomer Powell. Hey, Gomer Powell, y'all know he Border Patrol everywhere. Gomer Powell, if Border Patrol ever be pulling me over for something, I ain't trying to even cross the border. Gomer Powell, I'm going to know it's you, bro. I'm going to come looking for you, Gomer. You ain't about it like that for real, Gomer Powell. Don't come messing with me now, because I be on here telling you the truth. You just need to listen, Gomer Powell. Y'all hadn't liked the video. Y'all like the video for your boy Ghost Rider. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. I see y'all down in the comments. I'm going to get down there. Y'all let y'all voices be heard. Tell me where I'm wrong on my analysis. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is Pam Bondi, for the most part, is still clear her, you know what I'm saying? But, I mean, you start talking about the FBI, that's right on your doorstep, Pam Bondi. They going to come for you next. Oh, Cash Patel, they coming for you. The Democrat, I know you can't walk. Cash Patel, I know you didn't just walk into that Democratic trap. It's like they can't, the Republicans, y'all can't see these traps the Democrats be laying for y'all. I can break it down for you if you want me to. Because it's like my Republican friends are like Stevie Wonder. They blind. My Republican friends, they ain't got no strategies or no strategists or no strategizing or no nothing like that. Not when it comes to governing. Maybe y'all do when it comes to running elections, but when it comes to governing. Because I'm trying to say, bro, you got to think about what I'm saying. You finna go dig up the 2020 elections. Hey, I know y'all down there in the chat right now. Some of y'all can see what I'm talking about right now, bro. Think about this. I don't even have to go into it real deep. I'm going to just let it marinate. I'm going to keep on saying it so y'all could get it and understand it and see at this time right now. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to have the genius of ghostwriter. You know what I'm saying? You could be smart as a fifth grader. Right now, at this time, you're going to go dig up the 2020 election and listen. It don't matter. This is what I'm saying. It's like President Trump and them. They just trying to appease a certain segment of the American public or the American population. Because what I'm saying, it don't matter how many MAGA or even Republicans support you. Listen to me. Get the wax out your ear for a second. Get you some knowledge. Even Democrats could be for you. Imagine how astounding this is. Republicans could be for you digging up the 2020 election. You know MAGA for you. Some of them. Democrats could even be for you. Even the independents. You forgetting something. Mr. Stephen Miller, it's got to go through the courts. Anything you do in relation to the 2020 elections, the FBI and the investigation, it's got to go to the courts. So Ghostwriter giving y'all a prediction right now. Hey, I'm already giving y'all a prediction because I know how the courts go. Bruh, them judges, they finna scream. This dude is trying to dig up the 2020 elections. What court in America want to do anything, have anything to do with this? I'm talking about you finna get embarrassed. They finna throw that stuff past Beijing. The people in Beijing, all the citizens of Beijing gonna be sitting down looking up in the sky, and they gonna be looking at the FBI, Stephen Miller, y'all lawsuit, the Department of Justice lawsuit. It's gonna be getting slung up into the atmosphere. People in Beijing gonna be seeing y'all lawsuit get dismissed. That's how far the court gonna throw your lawsuit. That's how far the court finna throw these charges and these indictments and investigation. They gonna throw it so far, bro, it's gonna go around the world 15 times. Court don't want no parts of that. The American people don't want no parts of that. The American voters don't want no parts of that. But there are things that the American voters and the American people are concerned with, especially the ones, which is the vast majority of Americans. Over 65% of Americans make less than $100,000 a year. They have concerns. And it has nothing to do with 2020 elections. It has nothing to do with illegal aliens in Minneapolis. They're not concerned with none of that. Republicans, y'all are getting decimated right now in a million ways. And don't even... I'm saying President Trump's strengths, think about this, y'all. His strengths with the American people and the American public was immigration and the economy. He made some moves with the economy. His stock market looks good. GDP looks good. We talking about that tomorrow. It's a lot of people who get rich and who get wealthy. But yet and still, due to affordability, what he called a hoax, he's losing the argument on the economy right now. Losing. Because people feel like things are still too high. How many of y'all feel like things are too expensive? How many of y'all feel like rent's too high? How many feel like it's hard to buy a house? I'm saying these are things that he was aware of. We played it on the live stream a few days ago. Things that he was aware of that the American people, you could believe ghosts or you not. You could laugh at me all you want to. When them chickens come home to roost, who's gonna be laughing in the end? The American people feel like, for the most part, The majority of voters make less than $100,000 a year. That's facts. Well, I'm speaking for the majority. Those of us who make less than $100,000 a year, you haven't done enough, President Trump, to help us. No, it's not the Republicans' responsibility to help you. I don't even have to get in the comments. I know how they come back. Oh, it's not our responsibility to help you. You got to help yourself. But that's not what he said when he was running the campaign for election. That's not what he said. What he said was he was going to lower the costs on day what? On day 400 or day 500? He was going to help the American people on day what? Gas prices down 50% national. 50 cents is good. 50 cents cheaper for gas. But I'm saying 50 cents cheaper gas, bruh, is not helping me in my life like talking about. I'm trying to buy a house. What kind of policies you have for disabled veterans trying to buy houses? What kind of policies you got for them? I know you got policies for Elon and for Jeff Bezos. We done seen them. Gave them the biggest tax cut ever. You got policies for them. You got policies for Canada and the United Kingdom, America's allies, which you got them over there running to China. Think about that, y'all. And Canada. I told my mama that yesterday. I said, Mama, how many, you know, China got one of the biggest car industries in the world. They got Chinese electric vehicles, all kind of Chinese cars. Them Chinese electric vehicles, I seen them, $25,000 US dollars. And that thing full of AI. I'm talking about they comparing it with Teslas. $25,000. Well, them Chinese electric vehicles, how many of them you see in Detroit? You know Detroit right across the river, you know, from Canada. How many of them you see in Austin or in LA or in Houston or in Chicago or in big NYC, Lower Manhattan? You don't see no Chinese EVs, right? They finna be in Canada. You finna see them in Toronto. That's because of President Trump. President Trump, pat yourself on the back. Your policies. And now you got Starmer, the United Kingdom, America's closest ally. Due to them Greenland comments, he tearing up the American. Y'all remember back there the tariff time? He was announcing a big deal made with the United Kingdom. He got tore up, getting tore up. And he going over there to China, increasing trade with China. Your enemy. Look, this is man, bro. President Trump, we just did a stream on this yesterday. The Dunroe Doctrine, which is really just Putin's doctrine. They want to split the world. That's what they call it, the Dunroe Doctrine. You know, from the Monroe Doctrine, the Dunroe Doctrine. You need to do the research. I just do the research. I know what they call it. It's probably the first time y'all hearing this. You see what I'm saying? But really, it's just Putin's philosophy on worldview, how you split the world up in three, China, United States, and, you know what I'm saying? Well, I'm saying, according to President Trump's philosophy, China's supposed to get Asia, China getting Europe and North America, too. President Trump, you get out-hustled on everywhere. President Trump, the Democrats over here out-hustling you on every policy issue. And now the Chinese over there out-hustling. They stealing our friends. Chinese, look, the Chinese done got Canada and they finna get Canada and the United Kingdom to join BRICS. President Trump. Under President Trump, the Chinese finna get Canada and the United Kingdom in BRICS. France gonna go next. All the countries finna line up behind China. NATO allies. He want to get rid of NATO. Guess what's going to happen to NATO allies? They going to need a leader. They weak. They need protection. They need a leader. So if America not their leader, they don't want, they Putin, they give Putin their money. I guess they scared of him. They buy his oil, but they don't want him to be their leader. They know he a convict, he a crook, but she ain't that bad. He ain't half bad. So they going to go do business with the Chinese. So it's going to be the rest of the world against America. You ain't the most powerful country in the world if you ain't got no friends. I'm saying us with NATO going against China and Russia, that's going to be a good fight. It ain't going to be a lot. You talking about that's like World War III, 150 million people dead. even in today's estimates. But I'm saying you losing NATO, so you over here by yourself. President Trump and JD Vance and some spandex. I can't live. Hold up. I got to act this out. Hold on. They go President Trump. They Captain America. He want to be America's superhero. Here go President Trump. Him and JD Vance in some spandex. They got spandex on. Over there by themselves talking about how great America is. While all America's friends, the exact thing that you trying to do, you doing the opposite. And it's them Greenland comments. The Greenland comments. And you know the bad thing about it? We ain't finished. It's not over yet. It's going to get worse and worse. It ain't going to stop. He been like this. But we had, like somebody said, an inflection point. We had a tipping point. People tired of that. They don't want to deal with that. And what the Canadian Mark Carney said, he said, what happens, okay, Trump is gone and you get someone like Gavin Newsom, and then, is we back to normal like we were with Joe Biden, and then 4, 5, 10 years later, you're going to get what's that dude down in Florida? What's the dude name? Yeah, Kookie? You a Kookie? Ron DeSantis, you a kookie? Yeah, it's a extreme right. Y'all kooky. The extreme left kooky too. Don't feel too good about yourself, Democrats. That's why us in the center, we are the majority of Americans now because we the ones with sense. You got the people on the extreme right, they kooky. The ones on the extreme left, they kooky too. And the ones in the middle is the one with the sense. Yeah. So that's what Mark Carney said. What happens when Ron DeSantis get elected? And he want to come up here, Trump Jr. with tariffs Jr. You see what I'm saying? He said, nah, we can't keep going back and forth with America. We finna ride over there and get down with Chi. Because Chi act like he got some sense. Chi finna spend money with you and everything. Because she trying to get to number one. You know what I'm saying? What the Canadians and the Europeans don't realize is Chi and them real brutal. That's what I talked about all this yesterday. Let some protesters get out there in Beijing. Chi real brutal now. They real brutal now. They don't human rights. They don't believe what y'all believe, Canadians and Europeans. But for the love of money, President Trump loved money so much he put tariffs. He's taxing his friends. Can you imagine playing basketball with President Trump whenever y'all was little kids? He gonna tax his friends. President Trump, you must not have no brothers and no sisters. You must have never been taught to share. You must have never been poor. You must have never had to struggle for nothing. You don't tax your friends. That's where it started with. Greedy. Talking about breaking deals and breaking alliances that's been set up for 80 years. And so President Trump, according to your own philosophy, you agreeing with the Chinese with the Russians, and of course the Chinese too, to split the world up in three. So now America gonna take over North and South America. Yeah, you sure about that? Because the Chinese, they over here secretly and quietly. You did all that to run the Chinese out of Panama. You went and snatched up Venezuela, and just for Mark Carney to go over there and sign a deal right there in your face, you ain't gonna do nothing to him. And right behind them, the United Kingdom and Stormar, they over there. I'll pick up the phone. This the results of President Trump's bravado. The Republicans, like Lindsey Graham and them, and I like y'all, man. I'm just being real. Speaker Johnson, for so long, y'all keep on, trying to explain over what he's saying. Mark Carney ain't trying to hear you explain over nothing. The United Kingdom ain't trying to hear you explain over nothing, and Ghost been telling y'all this for the whole time. Yesterday, because I seen that it's already to that point, the destruction point. Yesterday, I just went ahead and threw a bone out there and said President Trump and them was right. Yeah, they was right. Europeans over there buying Russian oil, They done gave Russia the money to bypass American sanctions to where they allow Russia to do what he did in Ukraine. And now in the world order, you ain't got one power no more. China was already coming, so you was going to end up with two powers. Now you got three powers in the world now. So it's different rules they're playing by. President Trump know that. Yeah, all of that's right. But see, you just don't have the balance. Should have hired a ghostwriter. You won't have none of these problems. Now you got the Chinese. That's so embarrassing. The Canadians and what? So President Trump, the little kid that, you know what I'm saying, he didn't share his Twinkie with his two friends, and now his little friends, they pouting, and they sitting over there on the other side with your enemies. President Trump, you gonna be standing there by yourself. And you ain't gonna have no friends. Nobody gonna want to talk to you, play with you. She only gonna talk to you to get dollars. That's it. You gonna even alienate yourself from the Arabic community and from Israel too. It's how you move, man. Doing too much, way too much. See how we could talk? I could talk about these characteristics. That's why I said, guys, it's been about an hour. I think I litigated my case clearly. These characteristics of this right here, you see it anywhere with President Trump. You see it in immigration. You see it on the economy. Those tariffs is the economy. He taxing his friends. He being too aggressive, overplaying. Okay, you want to put tariffs on China? You would have never got sued. You want to put tariffs on Russia, North Korea, Iran, Venezuela? Anybody but NATO allies, anybody but Israel. You would have never got sued. Who gonna sue you? The Iranians gonna be suing you in America for putting tariffs on them? No. But you'll mess around and get sued for putting tariffs on Canadians. They well endowed, well connected in Americans. The Europeans are well connected in America. You'll get sued for putting tariffs on Europe. They got friends. That's where we come from. Most people come from Europe. That's here right now, their ancestors. But I'm saying on everything that you see, the over-aggressive or overplaying his hand, you see it played out with Renee Good. As long as you hear them make the argument that you never should run a car at an agent, you know that they're going to stay in that place of nonsense and wrongness. They still there. Because President Trump, I've said the same things the entire time. No one's arguing if you're right or wrong. The Democrats maybe, but you talking to them, that's why that might be why you losing. Talk to ghosts and the independents, the people who matter, who gonna decide the elections, who will ride with you and support you. We ride with a Democrat, but I'll ride with you too if you ride with what you're saying. Talk to me. I'm saying that agent put his hand on the car. It's easily visible for all of us to see he was not getting ran over. Maybe he didn't know he wasn't going to get ran over. That's up for discussion. That's the only lane y'all got. We can't prove that he knew he was going to get ran over. But I'm saying one shot, not four. One bullet, one shot. Because them other shots, he was on the side of her. It's unnecessary. I'm saying whether he thought he was getting ran over or not, if he would have just moved out the way like he did, he wouldn't have got ran over, and she would have went right up the street and got arrested. And you had all the cameras, you'd have had all the proof, you had to get some charges to actually stick. But as long as they trying to make excuses for their actions and not taking accountability, it's going to keep crumbling. Because that's all it's doing. It's eroding itself. Right before your eyes, you can't even see it. In the end, the whole bottom gonna fall out. When the Democrats get power, they gonna agitate the situation. They gonna make your destruction go faster. Because that's all that's happening is coming. President Trump is destruction. I'm saying, you don't think the American people see Starmar, the United Kingdom? Well, we have for decades known the United Kingdom to be extremely close allies to America. That's who we got our freedom from. So we just seen them last summer. Imagine what a summer make, a difference a summer make. Last summer, we seen them buddy buddies with Starmar, he buddy buddies with the Europeans, he buddy buddies, they shaking hands, signing the trade deals. And yes, Starmar shaking hands with Chi, signing deals with Chi. I'm saying what'll end up happening, the Chinese economy gonna surpass America's economy. That's what we trying to avoid. That's the whole point of the tariffs. We have a huge trade deficit, a $1 trillion deficit to China. China just say, okay, they out hustle you, President Trump. They outmaneuver you. They beat you. That's what I'm saying. The Democrats out hustling you, President Trump. They outmaneuvering you. They beating you. I'm going to call it like I see it. On immigration, on the economy, any issue that, listen, y'all know how we hadn't heard nothing from the Epstein files in a long time. I'm going to let y'all sit on that. Now, I can promise y'all one thing for certain and two things for sure, because what I'm finna tell y'all, the Bible say wisdom is begotten of her children. Any person with wisdom who hear me, you gonna know what I'm telling you is true. One thing for certain and two things for sure. Ghost finna tell you why, but I ain't talking to no Democratic strategists. I promise you I ain't. I could see it as clear as the eyes on your face, on my face. Listen, y'all notice how we hadn't heard nothing about the Epstein files. Hey, y'all tell me we ain't heard nothing about no Epstein files, nothing. It ain't got nothing to do with that release about Bill Clinton. I promise you, it ain't got nothing to do with Bill Clinton. We ain't heard nothing about no Epstein files. But I could tell you why. Why bring them up? Why talk about it? That's a wild card. We're going to save that. We know the Republicans, they hadn't gave us all the documents, and it's a law, and they in violation of the law. Yeah, we know that. We know we're going to sue on it. Yeah, but there's no reason to talk about it because President Trump taking L's on everything he's doing. Why bring up the Epstein files? We're going to save that for when he winning on something. Like when the conversation changed away from Renee Good or from Alex Peretti, or the conversation turn away from them trying to impeach Sec Noem or Greg Bovino getting fired, or the conversation turn away from the courts finna shut down that Minnesota ICE operation, when the conversation turn away from Greenland, and the conversation turned away from a Canadian trade deal, and the conversation turned away from the United Kingdom going over there yesterday. You see all that bad news? Why talk about Jeffrey Epstein? I'm saying, you talk about since 2026, it's like a coordinated attack on the Republican Party, establishments, the Democrats. I'm saying they sitting there playing y'all to death. President Trump and them saying these are paid agitators and stuff. Some of them are. It may look like it is. They organize, blowing whistles. How y'all know what ICE outside, and how y'all know to blow whistles? Like, you just got people all day, they ain't got nothing to do. People in Minneapolis all day just sitting up in the blinds. Oh, there's ICE. First whistle you hear. First of all, everybody get whistles. You got 200,000 whistles in Minneapolis. Where they get the whistles from? So 200,000 people just organized together, said we buying whistles because ICE, President Trump said ICE coming. How they know to blow the whistles? I'm saying it's got to be some kind of organizer going on. No doubt. You can't be stupid, or you got to be smarter than a fifth grader. They organizing against you, bro, and they beating you to sleep. Killing me softly with his sound, killing me softly. Yeah, they killing you softly. They sitting there. Them Democrats, they beating y'all to sleep. Every issue, the economy, beating you to sleep. Healthcare, beat you to sleep. ICE, they finna close down the government, beating you to sleep. Ain't nothing but bad news. I'm talking about the last 90 days for President Trump's administration been horrible news. We don't even talk about the investments no more. What happened to the $4, $5 trillion, $20 trillion in investment? I'm saying if he even get out there and talk about it, people don't have no interest. All they could think about is Renee Good now. I'm saying he done lost a lot of independents. They gone. They gone forever. Ain't no coming back. They gone. They came over there. They ran over there. They gave you a chance. You said no. They gone. I'm telling you, I told y'all about a 21-year-old mixed Hispanic and black. First time vote. Big NYC. He voted for you, President Trump. And he telling me, he explaining to Ghost why I ain't coming at him like I'm a Democrat or a Republican. I'm coming at him like I'm a podcaster or I'm a live streamer. I'm a streamer, and I'm just asking him about his opinion. Oh, you voted for President Trump, 21? You you was one of them kind of, okay, low propensity first time, yeah, and he a minority, yeah. What's up? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I put this on everything I love. I wouldn't even do you like that, President Trump, and play that interview like that. You know what I'm saying? Some stuff, President Trump, we'll just keep it between us. I wouldn't even put it out there like that on you. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to vote for him. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I just thought. I didn't know that. Oh, I didn't know it was going to be chaotic like that. I didn't know that. I didn't know he was going to talk about taking over Greenland with military force. Greenland. He got NATO mobilizing troops. NATO mobilizing troops, your allies. We're not talking about Putin. We're not talking about Xi. Because look, this is it's like, who got brains? He's talking about common sense revolution. Common sense ain't so common. I'm saying, this how the Canadians thinking about it. They thinking like, listen, Xi ain't saying he finna come take none of our land. Xi ain't asking me to be a part of China. He respecting Canadian sovereignty. Xi ain't doing none of that. But Trump over here threatening our land. This is supposed to be our homie. Xi ain't even trying to act like he our homie. He's strictly about them dollars. Xi out hustling you, man. He out muscling you. And not in the United Kingdom, Xi ain't never told no NATO, no European, none of them white people he was going to come take their land. The Chinese never told none of them white people in Europe. That's all they are, is white people. He never told none of them white people in Europe he was going to come take their land. Not once. Not one of them. Not one of them, y'all. So knowing that, why wouldn't you go do business with the Chinese? At least he won't threaten to attack us. At least he ain't putting unnecessary tariffs on us because we won't sell him some land. He ain't even asking us to buy land. Getting out muscle, getting out hustle. The Democrats beating you. The Chinese beating you. Putin playing you, making you look like an idiot. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not saying that President Trump ain't doing things good. He is doing things good. I'm just bringing to light the truth. These are all facts that I'm saying, nothing but facts. This ain't based on no opinion. This straight facts. The United Kingdom and China, two of America's biggest allies. Do you know how those images look? Seeing those white people shaking hands, America's friends and brothers shaking hands with the enemy. They over there dancing with the devil. And you can't blame them. It's not like Starmer or Carney turned on America. Trump turned on them. I'm talking about just, bro, once you said, look, he said that he wanted Canada to become the 51st state. Okay, he said it one time. I'm saying, he was saying it in December. He's saying it in January. So you said it two times. Everybody heard you. You were saying it when Trudeau was president. So you saying it in February and March. So now Carney become president. Everybody heard you. You still saying it. He's saying it in April. He's saying it in May. He's saying it in June. And then he putting tariffs on Canada to try to cripple him because he's so worried. Like, okay, the Canadians got a bad trade deal on us. Okay? I'm saying he think you're so smart. You're smarter than everybody else. I ain't hating on you. I'm just being real. I'm trying to help you. This is how you get help. So you think you're so smart. You're smarter than everybody else. So you don't know why. It's probably a reason why the presidents before you aligned it to where the Canadians were kind of getting out on us. On these nations getting out on us. It's probably a reason why. It's the price of admission. It's the cost of admission. President Trump didn't understand that. So whenever he come in there, instead of him like trying to research it and get to the bottom of it, he trying to tear everything up and make a new order. And in his new order, China is going to be the head of NATO and BRICS. President Trump don't realize that if you disband NATO, then those Europeans, they going to China or Russia. Bottom line. You think you let them go to Russia? If they go to Russia, guess what they taking with you? With them? All that money. They gonna be over there doing a trade embargo in the United States. They gonna change the yen gonna become the top currency. The Canadians gonna start using the yen, President Trump. I'm trying to help you. That's the next step. That you see when you messed up, it's gonna be a snowball. That's Xi next move. He gonna try to use the Canadians to use the yen. He gonna try to get the English to use the yen. He gonna try to replace the American dollar. And see, President Trump, when he hear go say this, he gonna come out and announce tariffs on England and Canada, and you just gonna make it worse, big guy. You got to take that tough guy uniform off. You got to take them spandex and that Captain America uniform off. You got to take that costume off. Y'all wearing costumes. I try to tell you. You won't listen to me. Like you think you invincible. I think who sing that song? Sean Paul, feeling invincible. I can't be stopped. Not the fans or the freaking cops. Not even 17 shots could put an end to this terror. I'ma live forever. Cause gangsters don't break. We just relocate into another island. Styling, wilding. Yo, Puff, open up them effing violence. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look when President Trump and JD, that's how they sound like. But I mean, it's just bravado. But the end of the story, Sean Poe got deported. He ain't in America no more. Puff Daddy went to jail. Sean ended up going to jail. They all went to jail, just like the scriptures say. They'll be cut down like a blade of grass. You got to be humble. You got to be humble. Stephen Miller, when you talk, you don't sound humble. President Trump, a lot of times when you talk, you don't sound humble, man. That's the problem. Y'all power. Y'all up there elevated. Some people don't even believe in God. So they got you elevated up there in the heavens with God. You got to understand, you start getting high, you got to start looking down. You don't get the picture. You might not be that smart. You might not even believe in God. You get up there, you got to start looking down. You got to start, if I got as much power as the president, I'll be around here acting like Muhammad Gandhi. What his name? Gandhi? I'll become a monk. Real talk. I'll be the most humble person you met. I don't want God striking me. Because you start getting close to the heavens. Y'all remember they building them towers up to the heavens? Y'all remember God's like, what? Were you coming up where? Not with the Most High. You don't understand. They don't get that. There's the time to humble yourself. There's a time to be Michael Jordan and put your tongue out and dunk on him. There's a time to be Deion Sanders, talk that smack and pick it off and run it back. But then there's a time where you got to humble yourself as well. And I just don't see the humbleness. You're not humble when you shooting a girl in the face 3 times. How is that humble? and then come out there and just start blah 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 blah. That's what we hear when you talking. You think I mean, they, like God's talk about that arrogance and that stuff in your mind. Got their mind messed up. They got like a godlike complex because you got elected. Instead of going to jail, you up there in the White House now, you done forgot. I'm talking about you turned your head at the right time. Them bullet shards, I don't know if it was a bullet or what it was. The FBI said they thought it was like just glass or whatever. But whatever hit you on the side of your ear, you turned your head. I'm saying you got to remain humble, man. We got to remain humble at all times. Because God spared your life, but your FBI agents, they couldn't spare Renee Good's life. President Trump, God spared your life, but I'm sorry, not FBI agents, your ICE agents and your Border Patrol agents couldn't spare Ellis Peretti's life, though. Y'all tell me where I'm wrong. Smashley, good morning, baby. Good morning, King Fire. Let's see. She hit the agent with her vehicle and killed for reaching for a gun. Bruh, listen, this is what I'm going to say. What that guy said that I just pinned is everything wrong with MAGA right there. If President Trump and them are still saying what he's saying right now, it ain't over yet. It ain't even got started for you. On this path that y'all own, Republicans, right now, y'all lose 60 seats. Y'all lost 40 in 2018. You didn't have an Ellis Peretti in 2018. It was George Floyd. You didn't have a Renee Good. You didn't have affordability. There's a lot of problems you didn't have in 2018 that you got today. If you stay on this path, Republicans, y'all on right now, y'all lose 60 seats. How many seats it is to lose? You gonna lose them all. Real talk. You ain't gonna win nothing. You won't need, they'll mess around and turn Texas blue. They'll turn South Carolina blue. I'm trying to tell you, you don't have to listen to me. Don't listen to me. You ain't got to. Like every time a powerful person or whoever don't listen to me, I'll be happy. I'll be happy. Because this is how I get to show y'all that I'm smarter than. This is how I'm going to show you. If you listen to what I'm saying, what I'm going to say? I'm going to tell y'all, look, so I say Gomer Powell need to get fired, and a day later, 2 days later, he get fired. What I'm going to come on here and say, oh, there's a White House staffer in here that view our content, and they be telling President Trump, and sometime he listen to go. I'm going to say that. Y'all going to say, nah, we knew Ghost was kind of kooky. No, we know Ghost kind of kooky. He kind of crazy. You see what I'm saying? But when he don't listen, I can't get no clout really if you listen to me and did everything I said. It's going to make me look, I guess, if people paying attention, it'll make me look good. But it ain't going to really do nothing for me. I ain't putting not a dollar in my pocket if you listen to me or don't. But when you don't listen to me, I'm not getting no gratifications or satisfaction at all. Zero. I'm still not getting a dollar off of it. But I can tell you, though, all you got to do is listen. It's on you, though. You ain't got to. They said a snowstorm is coming. Prepare yourself. My mama said a snowstorm is coming. Prepare yourself. So I done got told from 4 avenues that a snowstorm was coming. Prepare myself. Shoot, I could have went down there to the river and just walked out there on the ice, you know what I'm saying, and stood out there all night, just chilling, got my little jackets, coats on, and just got caught up in the snow and could have died out there. You ain't gotta listen, but you gonna die out there. You're going to die out there in that desert. Smashley, the Republicans, they dying out there in the desert. That's what's going to happen to them. You ain't got to listen. You can do whatever you want to do. It's on you. But we see what's going on, y'all. An hour and a half, I completely litigated my case. They still hadn't got it. They still hadn't learned. The judge gonna shut y'all operation total. Let's talk about the 5-year-old boy. What's up with that 5-year-old boy, man? Where the Republicans at? Y'all, what Republicans gonna try to defend the story about the 5-year-old? Who gonna defend that story? Where the Republicans at in the chat defending that story? Is y'all gonna try to defend him regardless of what he do? What they say, you don't care. Let them start shooting Republicans in the head. You might care then. Somebody who don't follow, who trying to make their own rules. I'm not gonna do you like that. President Trump say you don't follow the rules. Someone who trying to rewrite or remake the rules, you gotta make sure they stay within a certain. Because if you don't, you'll be way over there. Look. Y'all, him and Lindsey Graham, you know what I'm saying? I guess Lindsey Graham had talked to Gomer Powell. Hey, look, so him and Lindsey Graham, they doing a presser. They on Air Force One. And this right after Venezuela. You know, a bravado, man. You know, you commanding Marines. 15,000 troops or Marines on them ships. Them ships, I'm talking about, put the fear of God in Beijing if they were sitting out there in the South China Sea. Put the fear of God of Putin if they were sitting out there. This man got a whole armada sitting outside of Venezuela, and Maduro was sitting there cracking as many jokes as he want, and he was doo-dooing on himself every night before he went to sleep. Maduro was doo-dooing on himself every night before he went to sleep because he knew it was coming. So President Trump, imagine the power. This is all you got to do. Go snatch him. It's done. And sit back and watch. And the most powerful men on earth with the most expensive hardware, the most deadly, dangerous weapons on earth, they run up in there. They do what Putin tried to do but couldn't do. And it's coming from your word. Bro, you know your ego. You got to guard your ego. Because now you puffed up. I'm talking about you got the spandex on. Hey, Smash, look, after he went and snatched Maduro, it's like he got spandex on. And like he ain't had to put the spandex on. They just automatically, he got the automatic, you know, like shallow high. You know, he got the spandex automatically come on. You know, like Shazam, he just turned into a super, you know, he G.I. President Trump. He G.I. Joe Trump to President Trump, G.I. President Trump. He got on spandex, he got on red spandex. He go President Trump. He President. Hey, I ain't gonna do you like that, President T, because you know, Ghost got a stomach too, but President T, I couldn't see you in no red spandex though, with that stomach though. You know what I'm saying? You got that stomach poking out President Trump and them red spandex. He Captain Trump America after he went and snatched Maduro. And so now him and Lindsey Graham on Air Force One, they finna take Cuba. I'll put this on everything I love, guys. I'm gonna play it for y'all. I'm gonna be screen sharing by March, just a little bit. They're gonna attack Cuba. They're gonna get Greenland. They're gonna get who else? Oh yeah, Canada. Y'all seen that what he put on True Social, where he put Canada as a part of the United States and Greenland as a part of the United States. And I'm saying this man then, this is a 79-year-old man. 79 years old. This boy out here having childhood fantasies. But it's costing us. It's costing us friends. It's costing us allies. It's costing us influence. It's costing us money. It's costing us tears. But hey, it ain't costing you nothing though, President Trump. Y'all got paid, didn't y'all? How much was it, President Trump? 1.4 billion. $1.4 billion in 12 months. But as long as you got your little MAGA people, they gonna destroy you. Yeah, Ghost gonna tell it like it is. Your MAGA people your fan base in this situation, President Trump gonna destroy you. Because as long as you got them, you think you still winning. As long as people showing up to your rallies and laughing at your jokes, because you think it's entertainment. Like Greg Bovino, blah, 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 blah. Like the music stopped, bro. This the Border Patrol. Hey, what if it's your community? I don't know where. I think this was Los Angeles. They filmed this out. The music stopped, and he get out the Humvee where he hop out with like 2 or 3 people behind him. Here come Gomer Pyle, Greg Bovino, Gomer Pyle. This the Border Patrol dude, y'all. Like he out there killing people. They get his officers are untrained killing people, and he making videos where he hopping out with 3 or 4 people behind him, looking left and right. And they said, "Oh, who is this?" They say, "Greg Bovino." So I'm thinking like, "Oh, he a celebrity like Stephen Curry. He a celebrity like Taylor Swift." The Border Patrol chief. What? Oh, it's about it's about fame. You a clout chaser, ain't you? He chasing clout. Who care about the American people? You care about American people. You care about the citizens of Minneapolis. You care about. He chasing clout. Clout, man. It's unbelievable, y'all. It is unbelievable. Smashley says the GDP is now higher. Smashley, from every metric that I looked at, I've seen that the GDP was higher than it has been in a minute. Very long time. And the reason why I know that isn't false is because in his first administration, it was like that too. You know what I'm saying? Before COVID or before 2020. His job numbers, Jasmine Crockett said, "You lost 1 million jobs since you've been president, President Trump." Unemployment rate has went up to 4.4%, which isn't that high, but yeah, that job on the jobs, it's not just affordability, President Trump, it's the job numbers too. I don't really get at you that hard on the job numbers, because you could say affordability is a hoax, but someone getting a job is probably one of the most important components of the economy that the average man, they judge by. If you're a working man, how fast you could move from one job to a better job is how we used to judge the economy by. You see what I'm saying? So, I said this 1,000 times, it's the same. I mean, it's going to keep being the same thing until it's the same thing. I'm saying the same thing because, after Renee Good got killed, we done moved on. We talking about something else. And when I heard another shooting on ICE, I'm scrolling on YouTube, y'all. And I'm scrolling, it's another ICE shooting, and I done seen it once. I'm thinking, this is probably AI. They trolling. I'll put this on my mama. I done seen 2 times. I done seen 4 times, 5 times. Now that's everything and now I know it's real. And then I screwed saying CNN and I clicked on the story and you done shot another one. And if you keep that attitude and the court don't shut you down, you're gonna shoot another one. But by the end of it, ICE ain't gonna be able to do nothing. They ain't gonna be able to do nothing. They ain't gonna be able to go nowhere, do nothing. Be shut down all over America. The court's gonna just shut you down. Obama didn't have them problems. President Biden, bro, we ain't even talk about. I know you could say they wasn't doing nothing, but ICE did a whole lot under President Obama. He ain't had none of them problems. Maybe with the ACLU and the civil rights organizations that really be doing the work. But I'm saying with the average American, they weren't really talking about what Obama was doing. And he would deport more people than you ever had, President Trump. He deported over 2 million both times, snatching them. Let them run across the border and then he'll grab them, snatch them. Run across the border, he's snatching them and snatching them and snatching them. Smashley said tariffs is just a tax on Americans without representation. What y'all think? Smashley said tariffs are a tax on Americans without representation. I was for President Trump using tariffs against China to try to cut the deficits and to try to generate revenue for the United States due to a $38 trillion debt. So I was for him using tariffs against China, against Russia, against Iran, against any peoples and persons doing business with those nations, not necessarily China. I was for it. But the tariffs on the United Kingdom and the EU and all of America's allies, including Israel and Canada and Mexico, all of our biggest trading partners, the tariffs on them, I said from the get-go the entire time, I was not for none of that. I think that was a ginormous mistake. That's why you finna get Chinese EVs in Toronto. Pat on the back. Those are the results of, see, the first term when President Trump did and made all these mistakes, it's like the world kind of looked the other way. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like, shunned it or played it off. But I'm saying you keep it's like they sick of it this time. They tired of it. Tired with it. Tired with it, bro. It's too much. It's like you got on a cape, man. You got on the uniform. You got on a costume, man. You gotta bring it back down to earth. I'm not hating on you. I love you. I'm just telling you how the American people viewing it. That's how they looking at it. Like you doing way too much. You got way too much going on. You need to bring it all the way back down. I'm saying you had a chance to be greater than Ronald Reagan. What happened to that? We don't want that no more. Had a chance to be greater than Ronald Reagan. Did something in politics that ain't been done in 150 years. He won an election, had 4 years to sit down and think about it, came back 4 years later. I'm saying, President Trump, you want to be a legend. You want to be legendary, man. You don't want to be called an utter buffoon by a representative from a red state who will support you against impeachment, calling you an utter buffoon. I'm saying, I understand you need Greenland. You don't think them advisors, President Trump, who told you about America needing Greenland, those advisors, they told every single president before you for the last 100 years. And they're going to tell the next 10 presidents after you. There's probably military advisors coming to President Trump telling him about how America acquiring Greenland would benefit America. So you got military advisors coming to President Trump telling them. They told Obama that too. They told Joe Biden that too. They told the Bushes that too. They even told Ronald Reagan. Y'all might have heard some presidents talk about getting Greenland. How many of y'all heard presidents other than President Trump talk about getting Greenland? The difference is President Trump, they don't do it like you do it. And I know you want to be different. You want to be the chosen one and all that, President Trump, but it's just too far. You're doing too much, man. President Trump had a bunch of wins last year. He had what he did in Venezuela was a win. I don't care what nobody say. How can you say that's not a win? What he did with Maduro, that was a big win, huge win. What he did in Iran was a win. After the 12 days war with Israel, going and bombing them. I mean, he gonna have to bomb them again because you didn't do it like Ghost said it. Should have put those Israeli commandos on the ground like Ghost said it to grab the centrifuges. But hey, you're going to have to bomb them again. But hey, that first one was a win. I know you wasting money having to keep using the military, but hey, it's a win though. You could burn 500 tons of food, but you could drop the button. But hey, you know, it's a win. I'm saying, President Trump, you need to get back to the wins, man. Because what's been going on, you've been taking a whole lot of L's. It's like the Democrats, they done turned their strategy up on you, man. Oh, go over there. Look, it's like this. It's like if somebody hate me, I got a disability. Okay? I'm a disabled veteran. I got a behavior disorder. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I pop people in the face. Let me stop that. But I got a behavior disorder. What I'm saying, this real talk though, this real. I can't help this. It's chemical. I could get agitated. Somebody's agitating me. And how I respond to that is what it's all about. So say if I'm over aggressive or I over respond 10 out of 10 times. I think that's how King Von died. They knew how he was going to react or respond. So say so all you got to do is come up to me and pop me in the face at the right time, and you know I'm gonna crash out. So you could control my life. You could dictate me. Anytime you feel like I'm doing this or doing that, you just send somebody at me. They come throw a spitball at me. I crash out. Next time he come up there, he knock my glasses off. Crash out. That's what they doing to you, President Trump. They know, they hear Kristi Noem talk, they hear you talk, they know. So all they got to do is send somebody at you and pluck you on one of your agents on the head, and he go, pop, pop. He done shot him 50 times. He done emptied the clip. Listen, somebody come to an ICE agent and do this to him. He done emptied the clip. He's sitting there reloading clip shooting. Oh, did I shoot him? Oh, you know you can't come poke no ICE agent in the head. Bro, listen. Hey, my agents, they wouldn't be trained to shoot if you poke them in the head. Keep on shooting people. Americans. I mean, I know you say y'all ICE, you know, Immigration Customs Enforcement. I don't know where the customs or the enforcement is in Minneapolis, but hey, you do your thing. But I'm saying from the second that y'all said y'all were going to do crowd control, you know that Mayor Fry and Governor Walz had y'all right where he wanted y'all. Because ain't none of them dudes trained for no crowd control. The ones that are, it's not enough of them. It's not enough of them. What ICE gonna be training for crowd control? What crowd's gonna be? What you mean, the immigrant crowds in Mexico? Y'all remember them caravans of immigrants that was coming to America, like 1 million of them? In President Trump first term, I think he sent the troops to meet them at the border. Y'all remember that? So I'm saying, what President Trump, you got crowd control. You teaching ICE crowd control for the immigrants that's coming. I'm saying, what crowds they got to control catching immigrants? Y'all know the Border Patrol videos y'all see. So you got Border Patrol agents and they got cameras on the border and stuff, and they got drones and they got helicopters and they jumping out. That's why they wearing camouflage, because they jumping out in the woods down by the Mexico border and they chasing the criminals and drug them. I guess that's where Gomer Pyle, that's where Gomer Pyle came in at. Gomer Pyle was so used to chasing down Mexican criminals at the border. That's where Gomer came in at. You feel me? Y'all gotta cut that clownery. You gotta cut the buffoonery out, man. The President Trump ain't on no ballot, so he gonna still be the president. But he gonna be a lame duck. The what's his name gonna be gone, completely gone. Like at least 40, I say 30, I take it down. Y'all lost 41 in 2018. I say even with all these mistakes, I throw you a bone and say you lose 31. So 31 of y'all Republicans up there right now are gonna be gone. And you probably gonna lose the Senate, so you probably gonna lose about 4 or 5 senators. And it's all your fault. It's your own fault. It's all your own fault. Instead of hearing the truth, they retaliate. They'll send people out here to sit here and blow their horns, aggravate me. I'm gonna sue you. I'm not stupid like you. I'm not gonna shoot you for you come aggravate me. I'm gonna sue you. I'm gonna get paid off you. I'm gonna record your little dumb self, and I'm gonna sue you. I'm gonna record a little dum. That's what I do to dums. I record dums and get money from them. Rich dummies. You would expect a rich man to have more sense and be smarter than the guy in the car, but that's not what it is these days. God talk about evil being good and good evil. The blind leading the blind, they all going to the ditch. And I'm watching y'all all go to the ditch. You got the quote unquote Christians, they following behind that. Saying that you a devil if you ain't voting for a Democrat. Bro, what I see, that what him shooting Renee Good, yeah, Smashley, that's what's coming. What I see him shooting Renee Good in the face, what that look like to me, that look wicked. That look evil. I don't see how you could put God nowhere in that. Him shooting that girl in the head like that, that look wicked as all hell. That looks evil. It might not be. It might be justified. God might, God, like, so he let her die. Or he allowed it, I should say. You know what I'm saying? God didn't come out of heaven and stop him. So you might say it might be whatever. It might be whatever. But I'm telling you, in politics, ain't no voters voting on what might be, and ain't no voters voting on what God know or don't know. They voting off of what it looked like. And what that looked like was a cold-blooded, calculated murder. That's what it looked like. By a dude who was a gun range instructor who had just so happened to be drugged by a vehicle. They look like retribution for him getting drugged. That's what that look like. I'm trying to help you. The American people, they're not going to tell you. They're going to tell you in November. And the Republicans going to come out with their puffy eyes wondering what's wrong. You can't get mad at Ghost laughing at y'all Republicans if you puffy eye, because all you got to do is go back and watch the live stream I've been telling y'all the entire time. This somebody who against 2 men getting married. Or this somebody against a child, boys playing girl sports or getting a sex change. I'm against a grown person getting a sex change. This somebody against all those conservative principles, and y'all lost me long time ago. But hey, I just try to stay on the path. I'm going to just speak the truth. You know, if Gavin Newsom was president, the Democrats, I guess they would be mad at me sometimes because I'll just be speaking the truth. Gavin Newsom might make mistakes. I don't think he'll make clear mistakes like you make Trump. I'm talking about President T. He got the playbook. President T say, hey, we don't need 15 million illegals in our country. You know, VP Harris wasn't going to be talking like that. So the people, that's why they didn't vote. In part, that's why they voted for you, President Trump. That's why you won. He had the playbook. No, it wasn't Project 2025. That ain't the playbook the American people thought you had. Because President Trump denied having that playbook. He denied doing that to the people. They just talking. They conspiracy theorists. Not the Democrats' conspiracy theories. They just talking. I ain't going to do that. But I'm saying, President Trump, we thought you had the playbook to run it, though. He had the right talk. Yeah, we going to put tariffs, and we going and I'm going to help the people and the FEMA checks, and we going to give them more than $750 and yada, 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 yada. I guess you had a playbook, 1.4 billion. Look, the course, look, somebody came on here in this live stream in the chat was talking about due process. The course, you know what's going to happen, President Trump. Y'all going to put the course ain't going to trust nothing the federal agent, no federal agency. They ain't going to trust nothing you doing. Because somebody told me in North Carolina, the police suggesting to not trust the feds in North Carolina. Just like Governor Hochul adjusting to not just she letting people, and Governor Newsom and Governor Hochul in California and New York are writing laws that allow regular citizens to sue federal agents in state court. So President Trump helping the laws get changed against the police. That's what you don't understand, you hustling back. But it ain't nothing you could tell him, though. He's just do what you gonna do. And it's sad because it's like the big guy, bro. It's like he be like, you know what I'm saying, on point. He fired Gomer Powell. But I'm saying you done committed suicide by now. I'm saying you done destroyed yourself with the independents. You almost completely destroyed the Republicans with the independents for the midterms. You said, Ghost, how you know that? You got to pay me money to give you them kind of numbers. You got to pay me, but that stuff in my head, them numbers in my head. And I ain't talking about me guessing 5 million unregistered blacks and it's 700,000. No, I ain't talking about that. I'm just throwing out figures for you to get the point. I'm talking about some real I'm talking about down to the 0.0 percentage. You ain't never heard me get no poll numbers wrong. Not no poll numbers. So I'm doing that. I do the poll about like how Jasmine said she did her own poll. They are about 13. Yeah, that's like I'm gonna do the poll myself. Now I know where the people at. I know where they feeling. I know where they thinking. You know what I'm saying? I come in here sometimes just I ain't done the research properly or was fed some bad information. And I'm telling you, it's a certain amount of black unregistered vote, bro. Like I see all that. I caught it like halfway in the middle of doing it. Ain't no sense in going like you got to get the argument of what I'm saying. Like look how long I've been streaming, 2 hours, guys. No hate on nobody. It ain't no money there. So that's the effort I'm gonna get without no money. You know what I'm saying? Just come straight off the dome for you. Yeah, hey, I'm gonna come straight off the dome for you. You know, straight off the top, man. So I appreciate you guys. My girl Smashley, I ain't seen her in a minute, man. Y'all liking the video, subscribing to the channel, hitting the notification bell, man. The sun is shining, but it's -4 degrees, man. With the sun shining. -4 degrees out here in New York, man. I can hear the bells ringing. That's about my time, boy. It's beautiful, though, out here, though, man. I love New York City, King Fire. Y'all, I love New York, man. Real time, but -4, man. We just waiting on 1 or 2 more things, bro. We gonna be getting the tires to move. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. If you guys haven't liked the video, make sure y'all like the video, subscribe to the channel. I got King Fire in here. I got Smashley in here. I got all my peoples in here this morning, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all know Tuesdays and Thursdays, usually Mondays too, are regular days. But guys, we'll be live tomorrow too. You know what I'm saying? We'll be live on Friday. We're going to be live on Saturday as well, man. We just running it out. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to hit 50 episodes on Cruising with Ghost Rider. You know what I'm saying? At least 50, man. I like that number next to it. I bet I done had so many. We done had so many different episodes with Legal Wars podcast. I still hadn't put 1,000 videos up though. As long as I had this channel, I hadn't put up 1,000 videos. You know what I'm saying? We go live like all the time, but I'm saying if you go live for a whole year straight, every single day, that's only 360 some videos. And, I ain't go live for a whole year. So, we ain't got 600 videos. Even if you're doing a short every day, I try to do one every day too. You know what I'm saying? But that's still only like 15 a week. And then I got less than 100 videos total, since I done the channel. Like videos, not live stream videos. So, yeah, man, just trying to get that content, get good content, good political content, man. We come in here, have a great discussion, man. You know what I'm saying? I get the facts. I litigate the case, man. Y'all see, Smasher, y'all seen me say fire Gomer Powell, and Gomer Powell got fired. Y'all, I did say, bit. If y'all follow the content like Brian C and them, this been happening the entire time I've had this channel. You know what I'm saying? We've been doing this the whole time. And I would hold President Trump. Like, if I was him by now, I would see that everything that dude say that we could do, whatever we could get out of what he's saying, we just going to do what he say do. Because I think that's going to help us out politically. You can't come listen after you tried it your way and messed up. Because it won't work. Like I said, you need to get out there and do town halls and get with the people. Like, that's all you getting at them rallies are MAGA people. You're not getting independent. There ain't no independence at them rallies. Them MAGA people are fans, spectators, observers. They just watching the spectacle. That ain't no independent voters. Definitely not no Democratic voters. But if you would have went out there earlier, like Go said, before you lost the people, you know what I'm saying? If you would have went out there earlier, like Go said, when the people, y'all make sure y'all like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, man. It's your boy Big Ghostwriter, man. Smash it, tell them what it is. When I see you, hey, y'all, when I get back in here, y'all know what time it is, man. It's donation time. If not, when I get back in here, Donnie, let me pin that comment, my boy, because I'm trying to come back in here and have this conversation with y'all. Y'all know how I do it every time we get at the end. If y'all could throw y'all boy a donation, though, before I get back, I would appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? If not, you know what I'm saying? I understand. Money might be tight for us. You know what I'm saying? So, your boy Ghostwriter, man. Y'all know what time it is. When I see you, -4 degrees. Woo! Hey, what the Bible says, Smash it. What he say the Bible said? Oh God. Oh, you saying Caroline? Caroline must watch the stream because I never said Caroline, dude. She must watch it. What's up, Caroline, baby? You hear me? It's your boy Big Ghost Rider. What they saying, Smashley, that you could disagree with? He says Dollar General Obama Hakeem Jeffries. Dollar General Obama Hakeem gonna be you gonna be in the Dollar General. You ain't gonna be in the Dollar General. You gonna be in the unemployment line. You think if you get fired from President Trump's cabinet position, you gonna file for unemployment? Because some of y'all gonna file for unemployment. You ain't gonna be at the Dollar General. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's like a little kid mentality where you put, bro, listen, I am humble enough to where I will walk into any place and do not think I'm better than anyone. Or I'm not above anything. You understand that? I'm not above anything, bro. I have more money in my pocket. Listen, I listen to the boys' music I listen to. These days, you have dudes saying they Christians. I seen guys saying they pastors when they shoo-shooing and foo-fooing the homeless. When they see somebody they don't think they have enough money, they won't even talk to them. They won't even acknowledge them. I'm saying the guys that I listen to their music, they're not even Christians. King Dirt, Lil Von. King Von, that boy got his $1 million deal. You know what he did? King Dirt, when he got his 10 million, you know what he did? He went back to the ghetto. He stayed in the ghetto. He doing live streams. He going live on Instagram from apartments and houses that ain't got no electricity, no water, still got rats and roaches. They chilling out in the hood in $1 million cars with the have-nots. I'm saying it's sad that you got to see some people, guys not even Christians, that's doing that. That's what Jesus did. Jesus was with the people who didn't have nothing. Jesus wasn't with the rich people like you see the Christians today doing. All these people saying they Christians. He a false prophet. He a false God. I'm saying you standing with the dudes that's all the dudes you standing with. I'm saying, like, God said it's harder for a rich man to enter, and it's easier for a rich man to enter the eye of a camel to enter the eye of a needle than it is a rich man to go to heaven. But I'm saying you around all the richest people in the world. Come on, man. Let's be real, man. Let's stop playing. Let's not play no games with God, man. You talk to Ghost, Ghost gonna break that all the way down for you, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying, like, real talk, like, I don't look at stuff like you, man. Dollar General, baby. What's wrong with Dollar General? Where you going to? Walmart? Stop and Shop? I mean, it's a store, man. You get what you, as long as you get what you need. I'm saying, like, the mentality, man. Where your mind at, man? Where these people mind be at, man? Like, they like children. Real talk, man. It's like our generation of parents didn't do a good job because they like children. You see 70-year-olds walking around talking and acting like a child. It's unbelievable. I mean, I know I be cracking jokes all the time, especially telling when I see you. Hey, but I think that's just like a little fool. I guess that's like a child too, but it's like the stuff they be saying, bro. It's like, I'd be like, huh? Oh my goodness. Say it ain't so. Man, that sun that got hot out here. Like that, boy. It's still -4. I need to get. What'd he say? Oh yeah, I am independent with thoughts. You know what I'm saying? But listen though, King Fire, it's like it's not about a religion, it's about a belief. It's about what you believe. I'm not really sure, but I would imagine that if we define the word religion, it's a collection of different beliefs, individual belief. It's about what I believe individually. I individually believe that Jesus is king. Christ is king. Individually, that's what I believe. I'm saying to me, it has nothing. Listen, it has nothing to do with what. Man, let me turn real quick, y'all. I want you guys to be able to see my face, see in the shadow. Let me see if I can turn. Don't back into the snow, big ghost rider. That's better, ain't it? Yeah, that's a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's about what you believe, man. Individually. Like, if I was a guy that was in a church, or if I was like in whatever, any kind of organization, and like I was talking about God in a group of people, like that's different. I think that's how you identify like a religion, certain religions, people identifying as certain religions. But I'm saying, in my opinion, being a Christian isn't a religion. Like a Baptist is a religion, a Presbyterian is a religion, or a Lutheran is a religion. You see, it's kind of confusion. But being a Christian is just like following Christ, being a follower of Christ. So I don't look at that as a religion. And then on top of that, I hadn't done this on purpose, but I hadn't been to church in about a year. So I'm not talking about God or Jesus in the crowd. I'm doing it by myself. I don't see how I could be identified as a religion. I guess what I'm saying is religious stuff. I guess you could say that. And you could say you hear other people, religious people, talk about it, but I don't see how. Well, I'm saying you can identify as me, Ghost, being religious, because I'm far from religious. But I'm saying Ghost, what I believe through my life and my experiences, I believe that Christ is king. That's me, free, independent of thought. Because if you go around a bunch of these organized religious people, they don't like me. Or they might not think I'm like them, or I'm not good enough for a Christian, or I don't believe all the way like them. I don't know what the issue is. But if you go around a lot of these religious Christian people, they don't like me, or I'm not like them. But I might believe some of the same things or the same things they believe. I believe Christ is king. I don't know if that's religious or whatever. Donnie said believing Christ was real is a religion. Well, I guess it's a religion. I don't know what to say. I mean, how you feel about religious people, it's weird because I feel like that too about religious people. Jesus felt like that about religious people. It's clear in the scriptures. Jesus didn't get along with religious people. Huh. Ghost don't, I feel just like you feel about religious people. Me loving Jesus has absolutely nothing to do with another person. That's why I'm saying I don't see how it's religious in my situation. I could say another man, of course, told me about Jesus. I grew up in a church where they talked about Jesus. That formed who I am as a person, my belief in Jesus. But I'm saying, what you identify a person as religious, a dude who don't even go to church, that's religious. A dude who talk about King Von and little and I mean, yeah, and Lil Durk, he religious. A dude who vape, he religious. I'm saying I wouldn't look at myself as a religious person. You had a religious people in the Bible. Jesus, during the time of Jesus, he wasn't with no religious people though. I don't view myself as religious. Like Donnie said, the technical definition of, I guess if you believe God is real, then that's you religious. Then I guess I'm religious. I'm just one that don't go to church or don't need no person or people to what I believe. I don't need nobody to co-sign nothing I believe. I could stand all 10 against the most brilliant of the atheists or the most brilliant of the religious scholars on either side. I believe in Jesus because I have faith. I have faith that he is the Son of the living God, whose name is Jehovah Jireh. Donnie, how do you know where you came from? Smashley, how do you know where you came from? King Fire, how do we know where we came from? What do we believe? And when you tell me what you believe, how did you come to that belief? You heard it from another person, right? That's how we learn from our environment. You read it in a book somewhere. You seen it somewhere. Y'all follow me? So of all the stories of where we came from, y'all know the Chinese had stories. The Persians had stories. The Greeks had stories. The Romans had stories. The whole Eastern world, besides the pagans, and of all the stories that they all had, they all said that they had multiple gods. Tell me where I'm wrong. King Fire, follow me now. I'm litigating this case. They all said every religion in the world during the time I'm speaking of all believed in a multiple gods. That's where Zeus come from. Hercules, Thor. It wasn't just one god. They had the main god, but they believed in multiple gods. It ain't never changed. One God. When the whole world was saying that there's multiple gods, every religion, every culture in the world believed in multiple gods. The Hebrews, them people over there in where we call the nation of Israel right now, you know, who wear the little things on their head like that, and they be when they pray, they do it real fast. Yeah, them. One God. 6,000 years ago, one of the oldest texts ever written. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. 6,000 years ago, one of the oldest texts ever written, and we still holding a book. The first 5 books called the Torah, written by Moses, was written secular history over 6,000 years ago. Some of the oldest texts. I ask y'all think I be talking for nothing. How do we learn? How do we know where we came from? How do we learn? How do we know? How you gonna know something from 6,000 years ago? Google only know what's been told, what's been wrote. How Google know what happened 6,000 years ago? You feel that? Ain't nobody really know. You give me your book from 6,000 years ago. Since this how we find out what happened that long ago. Give me your book from 6,000 years ago. So, I mean, everybody want to contradict some religion and whatever you want to. You got an explanation for how we got here, okay? So let me go to Charles Darwin. When Charles Darwin come up with his theory, this book was thousands of years old when Charles Darwin was ever thought of. But okay, Charles Darwin, we came from monkeys. Y'all remember that? Some of y'all too young for that. Most of my viewers, though, YouTube tell me they over 65, so most of y'all remember when they started coming out with the monkey stories. And I guess the monkey story is related to the Big Bang Theory. Big Bang, Big Bang, 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 bang. And just everything we see is here with me being as pretty as I am, Smashley, come from just a bang. A big bang. Or I know I didn't come from no monkey. One of y'all might come from, so now I'm just playing. But I know I'm too cute to come from some monkey, boy. And I'm saying that the story keeps changing. But look, this book, though, 6,000 years, though. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. How we know where we come from? Because your mama told you? You got 1 billion, 2 billion, 3, 5 billion mamas. Everybody got a different mama who telling somebody different. You know that ain't gonna fly. What we supposed to believe? The one selling me by? Because I'm saying man got here some kind of way. This rock that we own, all we own is a big rock. Just hanging in the middle of nothing in the sky. How this rock hanging in the sky? Oh, you got physics and numbers. See, listen, that's where you got to take that intelligence. Y'all don't bring, see, you could get people, President Trump got probably some of the smartest cabinet that ever was assembled. But you got to bring common sense with that intelligence. You got to know when to mix the common sense with the intelligence. You can't stay over here in science. Because you got to understand science is just the means by why God does what he does. Science is God's magic. Science is God's magic. Science explains how God does what he does. When the Bible say that the Red Sea parted, the Red Sea parted. But then you come get a scientist, he gonna explain the molecules or the rigmarole. Like they got a theory that I believe now because they see it happening still. Because see, we've come from monkeys, why we still ain't come. I don't never believe the monkey story, but they talk about how the smoke and the dust and the rocks and they start colliding, and that's how they get stuck in the planets. That make a little bit more sense. What I learned at USM back in 2015. Their explanation, they might have changed since then, you know. That's been a few years. But you know their explanation about how the planets were formed because they looking out there at telescopes and they seeing them still being formed. New stars. Yeah, they seeing it now. Come on, monkey. Come from a monkey. Or a Big Bang. Charles Darwin. In the beginning. See, to me, knowing where I come from is going to tell me where I'm going. That's why history is so important. This is just history of humans. That's all this is, the history of humans. So if you don't know where you came from, then you don't know where you're going. So you just out here lost. You ain't got no map. This is my road map. This the road map. Even if I'm on the wrong road, I know I'm on the wrong road. Some of y'all on the wrong road, you don't even know you're on the wrong road. Because you out there too smart for God. You too smart for your creator. Probably too smart for your mama and daddy. The people who brought you in this world, too smart for everybody. I believe we have a creator. Listen, Donnie, Smash it. Let me ask y'all something. What in life do you see that wasn't made or created by something or someone? You feel that? If I pull up this bag, I know I never seen nobody make a bag, but I know this bag was made by a man. It's got a creator. It's got a designer. I'm sitting in this car. BMW made this car. This car got a creator. It's got a designer. Those houses. I look at this McDonald's building. This McDonald's building, somebody built that building. What do we know of in life that's here besides the earth that doesn't have a creator? Even other humans you see they got a mom and daddy. They got a start in the origin. That's what I'm saying. This earth has a creator. It only makes sense. You got to bring the common sense with you. See, most Christians, they leave the science behind. I don't leave science behind. I accept and recognize science as well. But you got to bring the common sense with you. It ain't no way this rock just hanging in the middle of nothing and we just here. And there ain't no God. There ain't nothing besides us on the middle of the rock, on the middle of nothing. That sounds like a Mother Goose story. If you didn't tell me, if we didn't know that human beings are on a rock called Earth that's hanging and flying through the sky on nothing, in the middle of nothing, pitch blackness, it sounds like a Mother Goose story. We don't think about our reality. Our reality is we are on a rock that's spinning all over the place, going around a ball of fire, a rock on fire. You got to think about what's really going on, bro. Y'all don't think that deep. The most primitive of things for a man to do is to want to know where is his origin, his original point, his starting point. What happens when a man closes his eye in death? Oh, science just say he just go to sleep. And then I go find you some science that they did in Canada to where they talking about how the brain after death, the brain is still functioning 13 minutes after death. What if I show y'all that? That science said. That they ran a test on a human that was clinically dead, completely dead. But his brain cells, it was 13 minutes later. Some of them hours. Some of them, it was instantly, their brain just turned off, the electromagnets. But you don't know what's going on. Ain't nobody died and came back on it. It's going to be what you believe. You either choose to believe that Christ is king or you choose not to. Bottom line. You choose to have faith in God or you choose not to. Bottom line. I don't care what's popular, so you're going to get the whole truth and nothing but the truth. I'm not trying to be popular. I went searching for the truth. I ain't no preacher. It might not be the truth for you. It's going to be what you believe. You could believe that there's no God and you'll see 1,000 things that tell you every day that there's no God. And you could believe there is a God and you'll see 1,001 things every day that tell you it is a God. It's about your mind, your brain. See, you got to know science too to understand that. It's chemicals in your brain. You got to understand science too to understand God as fully as I do. Because y'all try to separate science and God, but science just explains to me how God did what he did. If the Bible say that the whole world was flooded by a flood, they ain't never found no lies like that in the Bible. You just ain't found the proof. This whole world was flooded by water, just like the Bible said. Science just you just the man just slower than God. You just need to come up with a way to explain it. Sometimes you slower to explain it. How this happened? Oh no, yeah. You know what I'm saying? But it's just the way God does things is with science. Most Christians, they hate science. They think it's fake. I think it was dinosaurs on the earth. I think it was dinosaurs on the earth. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering today of the waters was the seas, and he saw it was good. He said, let the earth bring forth grass, herbs, and seed. He telling you all this he doing. The evening and the morning was the third day. Let there be lights in the firmament. Oh, yeah, okay. And yeah. And two great lights. Let there be waters, created wells. So I'm saying, you saying it don't tell you that he created dinosaurs. It don't say he created dinosaurs. But if you know the Bible, you know what Greg, the Bible say a day with the Lord is 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is one day. I ain't trying to mess your mind up. I'm going to just stop right there. I don't see nothing in the Bible that tells me that there wasn't dinosaurs at one time on this earth. And the earth was without form and void. There was a time that the earth was there, but it didn't have form, and it was void, and there was darkness there. And you know that first day that God, his spirit moved on the earth, God sent 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. But if you a student of the Bible, you know a day is with the Lord is 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is one day. You can't judge the time. Like, we be trying to figure stuff out and make stuff be this and make stuff be that, and because of what we believe or what this organization told us or what they told us. I ain't none of that. I don't believe in none of that. You don't know. How you know? You weren't there. All I believe is what this book is say. This book don't. It's a lot of stuff that we in this that's not in this book that happened in this world, and that will happen in this world, and it's not in the book. God didn't put everything in 66 books. He ain't gonna tell us everything. So just because you didn't find God said he created a dinosaur, there's a lot of animals that God created that's not written in the Bible. Or that they existed before man. You don't know how long it was before God had this earth here and them animals here before he made a man. The Bible might say 3 days. That could have been 3,000 years. You don't know. The scriptures clearly say a day with the Lord is 1,000 years. I know you on preacher. I ain't never told you that before. But me and you weren't there counting the days and the years and the hours and the months like we count them now. They didn't even count days back there when the Bible was being written how we count days now. The accuracy was with this writer. But that don't mean God wants you to be all the way accurate. You just believe the Bible. That's all you need to do. I believe this book. Period. You could call it a religion. You could call it whatever. I don't know what you call it. I don't feel like I'm not cool. I feel like I'm cooler than most of these dudes. I feel like I'm cooler than than King Von cool. Because I ain't going to kill nobody really. Unless I have to, or unless it's self-defense. So King Von going around killing people, I guess some people he killed, it was cool, but a lot of people he killed, it wasn't cool. Maybe nobody he killed, it was cool. God said, thou shall not kill. So I feel like I'm cooler than that. You going around killing people, making people's mamas cry, that's not cool. He listened to music and bounce, I could do that too. And David did it in the Bible. That's what I'm saying. I don't live by like, you say I'm religious. I don't see how I'm religious at all. I also believe more in nature than people believe in nature. I believe the spirit of the Lord. The Spirit of the living God. Yeah. It's all around us. The Bible say he omnipresent. What that mean? He everywhere at once. How you could be everywhere at one time? Is he running back and forth everywhere? No. How you could be everywhere at one time? What do you know that's everywhere at one time? The earth isn't everywhere at one time. The earth is just, it'll seem like it is, but it's not. The sun ain't. I guess you could say the Milky Way galaxy is. I know the air is, though. Everywhere at one time. Always present. So you just got to understand what God and who God is. These things on earth that's alive, like trees and grass, it's alive, living. I ain't trying to go too deep for y'all though, man, but to me it's not a religion. It's what I believe. I don't think I'm better than nobody else. I don't think nobody is. That's what the scriptures say. I think people sin all the time, every day. Even the ones saying they perfect, you know they probably doing the most. Real talk. Every day, all the time. If you didn't sin or if you was perfect, why would you need Jesus? Why would Jesus have to die? Because you ain't perfect and you sin and you filthy sinners. That's what we are. That's what I believe. I'm saying, I guess Smash the King Fire, y'all. I guess it could you know what I'm saying? Be a, but that's just what I believe, man. You know, it could be a religion. I guess if y'all say it's a religion and I'm a religious person, then I guess it's a religious and I'm a religious person. You feel me? But I don't see myself as being a religious person at all. I just believe in the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. It's a miracle. It's a miracle it's a bunch of stuff that happened that it's like a fairy tale or make-believe. Y'all just ain't that smart. If you close your eyes and tell me, if I ain't never knew nothing about childbirth, that a man comes into this world through the body of a woman, how the heart start beating? That sound like a Big Bang story, kind of a child being born if we didn't know it to be true. You just got a man and a woman and they, and then like some fluid out of his body go into her and it becomes a whole nother human being. That sounds like a Big Bang story if you didn't see it or heard or see with your own eyes. There's a lot of stuff in this world and on this that sound like that, bro. That sound like fictional stories. So don't tell me God is a fictional story. God makes the most sense. He made more sense than the Big Bang Theory. God made more sense than the monkey story. It's just that not to some people. If you a sinner or you ain't got no faith, you don't believe in nothing, or if it wasn't meant for you, I guess, then you won't believe in God. It's a choice. You choose to believe. I choose to believe in Christ, and I choose to believe Christ is King. That don't make me no better than nobody else. I know I ain't better than nobody. That's what I'm saying. I know I ain't. I don't think I try to be. Appreciate it, Malu. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not, look, some people tell me like my beliefs are like outlandish or ridiculous. I don't know. Like people believing in science. I mean, you could believe in science. There's some things science don't explain. How can you listen, Donnie, y'all who believe in science? Y'all let me know. I'm not picking on you, hating on you. How can you have 400 people on an airplane and it crash from 30,000 feet Science will tell you that it is impossible for anyone to survive from a 30,000 feet crash. Is that right or wrong? Everybody on the plane died, but one person. Not only does this person live, he walks away from it without a scratch. There you go with the childbirth story. It sound like Mother Goose. That's what I'm saying. That's when it sound like that. God, like, you can't explain that. Science can't explain that. Science can't explain that. Science can't explain how Mr. Moreno fell from 100 stories in New York City. His brother died on the spot instantly. He dead. But Mr. Moreno not only lived, he walking and talking just like me and you from over 100 stories onto the concrete. The doctor said he got less than a 0 chance to survive. Less than 0. That boy walking around. How can you explain a tornado? Shout out CNN. I seen this on CNN. That completely devastated a community in Alabama. Everywhere you look for miles and miles and miles, everything is gone. But the only thing still standing is a wooden cross. There's so many things that science can't explain. You call it religion. You can ignore it as being true, or you can have faith. Smashly, King Fire, this is what I'm saying. Whenever we die, ain't nobody know what's going to happen, right? So what you say the chances that there really being a heaven? It's about 50-50 chance. So you say it's 50% chance that you cease to exist, and it's a 50% chance that there's a heaven and a hell. So let's say that y'all right. And let's say that I'm a kook, this is a crazy religion, and there's no heaven and no hell. Okay? So say you right. I'm saying, what did I lose? I still did everything I wanted to do in my life. Everything that I could do. I did a bunch of stuff that I shouldn't have done that God forgave me for. I lived life to the fullest. And I died believing in a Jesus Christ that wasn't real or a God that's not real. What did I lose? When I die, I cease to exist. I won't even remember this. It's a wrap. It's over with. But 50-50 proposition, say if I'm right, and say if there's really is a God, and you died not believing in God, what do you lose? If I got insurance and I get in the wreck, say if I got insurance and I don't need the insurance, I guess you could say I did lose $200. But say if you get in a wreck and you need the insurance, that's what I'm saying. It's like, to me, it don't make no sense to run the risk of not believing in God. To me, that's a calculated risk for you to die not believing in something. If I go all the way around the world, forget America, forget Europe, go to South America, go to Africa, go to Australia, go to Asia. You got all these cathedrals everywhere, all over the world, and they built up to an imaginary God. So you got millions of people with cathedrals, billions of people with cathedrals all the way around the world praying to a God that ain't even real. And the lesser minority who believe in that there ain't no God they're the ones that's right. It don't make no sense, man. I could go on, bro. I could do this for hours. I could do it back and forth with people. I could do it with combat. I could do it by myself. I could do it mellow. I could do it preaching a sermon. I could do it with scriptures. I could do it from logic. I could do it from a million different ways, bro. I'm an overthinker my entire life. When I was 5 years old, my mama brought me to a church. And I'm 45. So that's 40 years. In my 45-year existence, some of my first memories was about God or a church. So I'm saying, like, if I'm here right now, I'm not doing this for nobody. You know, you might have, the preacher, he got reasons to preach his sermon. You might have people in church, they got reasons. I don't have I'm out here in New York, but like myself. Like, I'm doing this because this me. If I didn't believe in God or believe anything I'm telling you, I would tell y'all what I believe. I ain't scared of nobody. Y'all know that. I don't even think it's not cool, like what I believe. I believe I'm the coolest dude walking because I know I'm right with what I'm saying. Real talk. So if you don't believe in God, I feel like you square. You a weirdo. Real talk, how you gonna tell me I'm a weirdo if I believe in God? I feel like you a weirdo. You believing in a monkey story. You weird. Telling me I'm weird. Like, y'all just gotta understand how Ghost is, bro. I ain't like no people follower kind of dude. You know what I'm saying? I used to be. Somebody broke me out of that. And I'm saying how I am now, I'm just be. It's not only 144,000 going to heaven, King Fire. That's not correct. That's not correct. There's scriptures in the Bible where God talk about the saints numbering the sands of the sea. You saying 8 billion people, God created way more than 8 billion people. There's 8 billion people alive right now. See, y'all don't think about this whole thing. Think about when God first created a man or a human, how many billions of people have lived on this earth since day one to now? Way more than 8 billion. So let's just say a number. I ain't trying to give y'all right numbers. See, that's what I'm saying. Ghost will tell you 5 million, but my thought process is right. You can have the wrong numbers if your train of thought's right. That number's 5 or 3. 5 million, yeah, it's a big difference. But I'm not with Jasmine in no campaign room targeting no voters. So the train of thought has to be right. If you got the wrong train of thought, it don't matter if your number's right. You got the right numbers and the wrong train of thought. I got the right train of thought, even if, say you got 22 billion people that ever walked on the face of the earth. If you have a billion of them in heaven, that's a few. What's a few? 3 or 4? 3 or 4 out of how many? About 25. If I had $25 and you said, give me a few dollars, what I'm gonna give you? 3 or 4, right? 25 billion people live, 3 or 4 billion. That's a few. To God, when he said a few, only a few going to heaven, not the majority. The majority would be out of 25 billion, it would be 13 billion, would be the majority. A few, 3 or 4 billion. Well, 3 or 4 billion people. Look at a million people in the same building at one time. It ain't possible. You talking about 3 or 4 billion people? That's like the grains of the sea. Innumerable amounts of people. God said that about the angels too. I could have sworn I read the scriptures talking about as the stars in heaven. Boy, you don't know how many galaxies and universes and planets and you don't know what God done. You don't know how many times God done this before. This could be act number 18. There's just too much data you don't have for you to walk around like you got all the facts and the answers. The smartest thing I figured out that I knew is when I said that I didn't know nothing. That's when I got smart. When I realized that I didn't know nothing, that's whenever I got smart. That's when I got the wisdom, when I realized I didn't know nothing. When I thought I knew everything, I didn't know nothing for real. I didn't have no understanding. I had a bunch of knowledge and facts, but no understanding. I got the understanding now. I don't care about the facts. I care about the facts, but I mean, you know what I'm saying. We just be trying to make God look like how we got him look in our mind. You know, we got a cartoon version of God in our own mind. So we try to make God look like that cartoon that we envision him to be. You know, we make everything look like the cartoon that we make it to be in our own mind. Stop creating God in your mind. That's part of the problem. You creating him in your mind. God created you, but you creating him in your mind. Because you're not able to see him physically, so you go to a place of weakness and you break down. Like you don't believe it, or it's not true, or it's not real, because your train of thought ain't strong enough to stay focused. Stop creating God in your own mind, bro. Let God be who God is. You can't make him. He created you. You can't create God. He's the creator. The Bible says God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and truth. So if you're trying to picture God in your mind, just picture him as a spirit that encompasses everything that we know of. Because the Bible says he's omnipresent, he's always present. So that's the only way that God has to be everything we see out there is God. Including this right here is God. Everything is God. He's everything. And we're just in the middle or on or whatever, however you want to put it in your little peeny brains on God. God's not like you looking at him like he a rocking chair, like he's Santa Claus. That's not what he is. You just don't understand what he is. That's why religion don't make sense to you, because you create God in your mind. You creating God on some fictional story that you've been told. Thank you, Smash It, baby. Or some fairy tale they being told. That's how they creating God, Donnie. That's not what God is. You got to understand what he is. He is spirit. You know, like space. Imagine this space. It's everywhere, ain't it? Huh? That's now you talking in the realms of what God is. You looking at God like a man. Yeah, he does take form and shape in the man. We talking about Jehovah Jireh. Yeah, we were made in the image of God. Jesus, that's why Jesus looks like that, because he looks like a man too. So yeah, you are accurate about God as a man, but if you want to get a vision of how God looks personally in your mind, read Revelations. The Bible describes him. Don't invent him in your own head. Oh, he 15 foot tall. He got blonde hair like the picture say. If Jesus looked, blonde hair down his back, that might be similar to what Jesus looked. They might have accurate depictions. The Bible describes how Jesus looks, so it's up to the reader to give you the image of what Jesus looked like. But the Bible clearly describes Jesus and how he looked. And you could kind of imagine how he looked by the Hebrews who his lineage is from. So yeah, with the technology we have, we could get an image of how Jesus looked. He was a man like we was. Don't do that with God. God ain't no man. The Bible never say God was a man. He is spirit. You trying to make God look what you want. You thought what your mama say he look like, or what you think he look like. He just hanging over heaven with, with a bolt of lightning in his right hand, like he Thor or something. You see what I'm saying? God ain't none of that. In his natural form, he's a spirit that encompasses everything you know. He's everywhere at one time. He ain't got no crystal ball. This our God everywhere at once. You watching what's that movie called where she had the crystal ball? She got a crystal ball, so he just shake up the crystal ball and he can see the whole world. That's how he everywhere. Nah, it ain't no, bro. You playing some gimmick. That ain't what God is. You got to understand what God is. The eyes of the Lord is in every place, observing the good and the evil. See what I'm saying? You got to know your Bible to know scriptures like that. The preacher might not preach that on Sunday. But I took at least a good day. When I read my Bible from cover to cover, I took at least a good day thinking about what that means. What does that mean? The eyes of the Lord is in every place. Every place. What does that mean? Omnipresent, everywhere at one time. You got to read the scripture and believe it, King Fire. Even though it might be hard to believe, but it ain't no different than me telling you that a man could put some liquid from his body inside a female and a whole human being that look like Ghost Rider come out 9 months later. If we weren't privy to seeing that and somebody told you that, if you tell a Martian that sounds like a Mother Goose story. But it's a miracle that we see every day that we come accustomed to and don't even think of it as a miracle. That's God. That's in the land of God. That's God's magic. Science. That's God's magic. That's how he does what he do. We try to imitate him. We finna come up with some machines that's finna destroy us. We done made some machines, some robots trying to be like God that's finna destroy us. We try to imitate him, but we could never be him. He's the creator. Just like we got a mama and a daddy, this earth got a mama and, a daddy, excuse me. Same thing. It's got a creator. It's got an origin. It's got a beginning. Just like everything does that we know of. This car has an origin. This parking lot has an origin. There used to be nothing but woods here. Everything has an origin. This earth, this rock that's hanging in the middle of this sky has an origin. How come gravity? Why don't gravity never just fail? What's keeping gravity from just failing one day? Everything we know fails. Everything. What's keeping gravity from falling and this rock just falling to the abyss? I guess it ain't nothing nowhere under us besides other planets and stuff. So the rock could just keep falling for the rest of eternity, just fall, 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 fall. What's keeping the rock in the sky? A big rock like the one we own called Earth. There ain't no story you could tell me about us being here on this rock. Living, dying, no story makes sense than God. Ain't no other story makes sense. You gotta see, it's like the Republicans and with a concept of a plan. You want to get rid of Obamacare, but you gotta come up with a plan better than Obamacare. Y'all want to talk about God. You want to be an atheist, but when I ask you how we get here, let your education start kicking. You gonna sound like a science, like you went to the science fair. Oh, it's just a chemical. We're just chemicals, and we just got here chemicals. We're just a ball of molecules that's chemicals and chemicals. Yeah, just like we came from monkeys. Yeah. Yeah. It's what you believe. You got to choose to believe something. You got to believe something. If you say you don't believe in God, you believe we got here some kind of way. You believe whenever you die, some kind of existence or non-existence is going to happen. I could go to Aristotle. I could go to the most brilliant philosophers. How they said that they believe that the consciousness cannot exist without the body. I mean, the body cannot exist without consciousness, but consciousness can exist without the body. That's facts. When you in dreamland, you would say you unconscious, but in that dream, you a conscious being. You more than just a collection of tissue and muscle and bones. You have a spirit too. You have a soul too. I'm sorry if you don't understand it. It's kind of complex. You could see the spirit. I could see the spirit of something like it's on my face. Some people who got evil spirits, I could see. I'll tell you, them agents. I seen the devil out there with them when they were firing them guns. I don't care what man's law say it is. I see the devil out there with you firing them guns. Some of us could see that evil. We almost like we could put our eyes on that evil. Because we know what it looked like. Jesus knew what it looked like. He said, ye of your father the devil. They were murderers, and they abode not in the truth. He know, Jesus know what that evil looked like. It's complex, man. You can't dismiss it because you seen your preacher, he got 15 prostitutes on Saturday. And he be on them church on Sunday talking about, we gonna have a good time in the Lord. You can't dismiss it because of that, man. You can't dismiss it because it don't make sense to you because childbirth don't make sense. Ain't nothing else you could tell us how we got on this earth to me makes sense. I done heard it all. I done seen the stories, heard the stories. The stories got changed by the time I got to college. They got another story. Now they talking about some flying nebula and stardust and rocks and it forming and going in a circular motion and bumping and gliding in the solar system and the stars. And how they get their light though? How they get the shine? It's what you believe, King Fire. It's what you believe, Donnie. It's what you believe, Smash. We could choose to believe. It's not cool. We feel like it's the preacher might make it seem like God ain't cool. You know, it's cooler to, without no God. Without no God, you could try to get you a Ferrari. You could have sex with 15 different girls every day. You know what I'm saying? If your stuff don't fall off. You could snort you a kilo or half a kilo of cocaine every day. You know what I'm saying? You could live like you in Miami Vice or something. But if you believe in God, you do that, you're going to go to hell. So the thing we want to do, we just tell ourselves it ain't no God. Oh, it ain't no God. Yeah, that's Mother Goose story. That's fictional. That's fairy tale. You just tell yourself it ain't no God. And these people don't want to go to hell. Look, that's real talk. Joseph Smith in the Mormon church, he woke up one night. He had a dream. He was burning in hell. And instead of getting saved, he made a new religion and said that it cannot be no hell. A loving God cannot create a hell. Hell makes sense. None of it makes sense without hell. How could you get heaven in that without hell? A yin and a yang. For every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. It's just the principles in which God wrote this. He wrote the story. Usually, if it's a left, it's a right with God. You got 2 eyes and 2 ears for a reason. 2 arms. Bipolar. If it's a heaven, it's a hell, bro. If it's a God, it's a devil. If it's a up, it's a down. If it's a left, it's a right. It makes sense, man. If I get into numbers and tell you about numbers too, I'm talking about, man, it'll blow your mind. It all tell the same story of a man named Jesus. And I'll go tell you the same story. Christ is king, man. It's 10 a.m. It's been 3 hours, man. I love y'all. Whenever I get in that place, in that situation in my mind, I always say, this is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it, man. Y'all, we live every day, 7 a.m. Eastern. Smashly. King Fire, appreciate you, my boy Kenny. You know what I'm saying? Benza. All of y'all, man. I appreciate y'all, man. I love y'all. We live every day. Smashly, baby, I appreciate your donation. Donnie, I appreciate you. Montana. You know what I'm saying? All my new people showing up, showing love, man. You know what I'm saying? Oh, nah, ain't nobody give Satan credit. God said God gave Satan credit. God said, the Bible said that Satan was the most beautiful angel that God created. That's what the Bible said. That's what God said. God gave him credit for a reason. Satan didn't know he part of the master plan. That's how we are. We think we doing something. But it's all God. You just got to understand that everything is God. Everything. The yin and the yang is God. I don't want to mess y'all up, though. Because I have some of y'all walking backwards as far as in your faith in Christianity and what you believe. Because it's the what I'm saying is the truth going to bear witness to what I'm saying. You're going to know what I'm telling you is true. God is everything. That's all you need to know. He everything. All in all. That's all we need to know. They say you are little God. You were made in his image. He breathed within you is his breath, the breath of life. Everything. What that we see that God is not God or part of God or that he ain't touched. Even Satan himself. How you think Satan got here? You think Satan created himself? If Satan created himself, he would be like God. He ain't like the Most High, King Fire. Satan is just a more highly created being than us. He ain't more highly created than Michael, the archangel, because Michael whooped him. And Michael gonna keep whooping him. As long as that sword he's swinging is in the name of the king, baby. It's only one real king, man. And Jesus is king. Christ is king, baby. That's just what it is. It ain't no argument with that. I've accepted that. There's a lot of things in life that I might not, whatever. I accepted it. It's facts. It's truth. Ain't nobody made me. Ain't nobody got a gun in my hand. And all that cult people who might believe that too, I'm suing all them. President Trump say he a Christian. Everybody say they're a Christian. I don't mean I'm suing that because you hear somebody saying something that you hear me say don't mean nothing. Not to me. That's what I'm saying. Y'all saying I'm religious. I don't view myself as that, and they don't view me as that. That's weird. Because that's how it was with Jesus. Jesus wasn't a religion. He was the Son of God. He knew who he was. But the people, they didn't view Jesus as religious, and Jesus hated those, not hated, but you know what I'm saying? Those religious people who he bumped heads with. The religious people are the ones messed up. When you get saved, you need to go to church. You gotta live like a Christian. I wouldn't advise you to do that without the way I'm doing it. I got other issues, situations going on. And then on top of that, bro, like I told you, I was raised in church. I got a doctorate degree in God, a doctorate in God. You know how when I was going to high school 5 times a week, I was going to church 3 times a week. for the same amount of time. When I went to college, I was going to college 3-4 times a week. I was going to church 2-3 times a week. The same amount of times I went to, longer than I went to college. I went to college, I got 169 college credits. I got over 200 credits in God and Jesus. I'm trained by all kind of different men all over America. I promise you, I've been to churches in at least 10 states, over 100 different churches, easily over 100 different churches in over 10 different states since 2012, 2011. Yeah, and I hadn't went to church since Texas, so for about over a year. So it's not like I was going to church on all these new states that I'm going to, but I've been to a lot of them, all over America. I'm talking about South Carolina, North Carolina, Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, Texas, Mississippi, Louisiana, Missouri. Yeah. Kansas, the state of Kansas. Churches all over America. Hundreds of them. Y'all, love y'all, man. I'll see y'all tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Eastern time. It's your boy, Big Ghost Rider, man. Christ is King. This is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Donnie, King Fire, Miss Ashley, I love all of y'all. I hope I could be a positive example with my words to y'all, man. Y'all could live a good life like my mama told me. Just put God in your life, man. You ain't got to be no religious person all like, now you ain't got to be like that. You just got to obey them scriptures. Put them in your life, man. You know what I'm saying? Strengthen your mind, man. I love y'all, man. I'll see y'all in the morning, man. I'm out.